Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. How's everybody doing tonight? This message is indeed accurate because we're not hacking today. Y'all, I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a really good mood. I feel like things are the pendulum is starting to swing in the other direction. I had a very close call with the oil change a few days ago, but I saved it. I pretty much kicked ass. Don't mind the oil stains on the driveway. That's gotta break a few eggs. You feel what I'm saying? Springboard's getting very interesting. With the, with the recruiter program they got going on. I unfortunately needed to forego my job guarantee, but what can you do? You feel what I'm saying? We'll make the money somehow. We'll figure out a way. But yeah, I think that the value that is given by the recruiter support outweighs the drawback of potentially losing out on a couple $1,000s. But I guess we'll find out soon enough. But I think I'm very hopeful. I like the recruiter that I met with. I think that they show a lot of promise. Of course, that she still has to deliver, but I think she's got a good head on her shoulders, and as long as we both can keep our lucidity, keep going, stay persistent, things will start switching up a little bit in terms of outcomes. So, I'm going to probably contact her tomorrow, telling her that I'm going to accept it. I'm not going to do it today because right now I'm a little bit biased at the moment, but tomorrow I'm going to tell her. Unless I find some other plan, some other idea that I have. But at the moment, that is the plan. ATC is getting interesting as well. They're doing some vetting, but obviously that's not going to lead to a job at the moment. So we're still going to kind of keep that as the backup strategy. But yeah, ATC is looking very promising as well. Aside from that, I do have an interview as well soon. It's not for a very high-paying job, but it'll be a good way to make money in the meantime. So, but here's the thing about it, right? Here's the thing about it. See, when you're motivated and you're just constantly finding something to do, and you're just constantly trying to be productive and improve yourself, it doesn't really matter how much money you make. If you just if you just have enough money to get by, it kind of doesn't matter how much money you make. Let me just see if I can remember which one of these is I think it's this one. It kind of doesn't matter how much money you make at all. I mean, it does to an extent. But let me explain what I'm talking about. So, if y'all have ever owned a car, you've seen this man's videos in your recommended. And I think it's a good time to have some fun. Because here's what's going on with me, okay? Here's what's going on with me. What happened today? I watched some of the business, okay? I took my bike to the shop. And I watched some random YouTube videos. But what I'm trying to do at this point is I'm trying to do a 75,000 mile service. I'm not trying to do every single fucking thing on the list. It's actually not the most comprehensive service. You would expect 75,000 miles to be like the most comprehensive service. At least if you got a brain like mine, you would expect it to be, but it's actually not. There's a lot involved, but it's actually not the most comprehensive. There's other ones. But yeah, the car's going to be eating into my savings. I really don't give a shit as long as it's reliable. Because, and the reason why I say that is because my brakes are starting to get low. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be looking at into servicing. I don't know if I'm going to pay for somebody else to do it or do it myself, because I might need some more tools. If I don't need any more tools, I'm just going to do it myself. So here's what I'm trying to do with Scotty's videos. I'm trying to figure out ways to enhance my repair prowess, car repair prowess. I've already looked at the ball joints. I've already looked at the tires. The tires look good. The ones in the back are a little bit old, but they're not old enough that I need to replace them yet. What I usually do with Scotty is I hover over it. Okay, if I see him in this room, I skip it. Because usually that's just like, okay, well, do we really need to watch him just talk into a screen? I don't think we do.
Rev up your engine.
That intro.
You're driving your car down the road. You hit brakes on even pavement. Your car starts making noises, and it's driving you insane. So
Why would you
right now
use that
Here we
intro?
go on a spin looking for the noise.
Scotty's just like, I'm gangsta. I didn't even need to have a good intro anymore. I got so much clout. Also, I'm gonna
I heard the
turn
little
captions on.
chirp, but we're
Oh,
gonna
it's
try to
already
make
on.
it louder. Yeah. I hear it. There it is. It sounds like a little bird chirping. Yeah. He admits it's a subtle sound, but we'll go around the block too.
It sounds like you opening a door.
So we'll jack her up in here and pull off the wheel. And of course, put a jack stand under here too.
This is why I'm actually considering taking it to a shop, even though I do my own oil changes, is because you gotta buy the jack and you gotta buy the jack stand. So, I mean, it's just 2 parts, so it's not too bad. But like, if it's just those 2 parts, I guess it would be fine. But if I gotta buy other things on top of that, I don't know about that one. But we're just gonna keep it going.
So of course the first thing we're going to do is the obvious. We want to see if there's any play. No play, no play. So there's nothing wrong with tie rods or ball joints.
Yeah, that was one of the things you gotta check. You gotta check the ball joints to make sure that, Wait, how did he rock that?
Play. No play, no play. So there's nothing wrong with tie rods
Yeah, those side to sides, those are to check the tie rods, and then the up and down is to check the ball joints.
or ball joints. Now this thing's 9 years old and has about 138,000 miles on it, so you expect things to wear, but we're going to take the wheel off and then check to see if there's anything obvious.
Okay, sometimes he just takes his time, bro. So we just gotta speed through it. Scotty has no idea how to speed up a video. Most YouTubers have figured it out, but he can't. He hasn't.
Absolutely everything.
So we have to do it for him. We have to help him out a little bit.
We want to see if any of them are cracked.
I ain't got no rust down here in the Atlantic Ocean. Nope. None. Zero. No snow. No road salt. It's just... Our cars are super clean. Now up top, that's where the issues come in. Because the sun is always there and always beaming. So all of our headlights are faded away. So that's why I literally just like bookmarked a video where Scotty told you how to keep your headlights looking good. I'm going to actually buy that product. Because that's one of the few things that I'm just like, that's a non-negotiable. I want my headlights looking nice. Period. No questions.
No, they're not particularly cracked, but you can see over here.
What's he talking about?
We're going to look at the bushings. We want to see if any of them are.
He's talking about the bushings, so we're going to slow it down a little bit.
Rust here, rust there. First, we're going to look at the bushings. We want to see if any of them are cracked. Now, they're not particularly cracked, but you can see over here. See where the control arm comes? These bushings here, things are rusted. You got metal, rubber. So, since I don't see anything, there's no play. I don't see any obvious...
I don't think I looked at that bushing. I looked at the other one on the other side of the control arm. Not that one, though.
Worn out parts. It's not even wobbling. Usually these are wobble. It's not even wobbling. And that's for the sway bar, and those are the end links.
Yeah, that's another thing. I always forget which part is what. Like the sway bar, I'm starting to realize is like kind of like a it's like a, what's it called? I don't know. It's kind of like a river shaped. It's shaped like a river, not like a straight line. It's kind of weird. But I'm starting to things are starting to click now that I have another car, because before I was like in car purgatory. I was like, what am I gonna do now? I don't have a car, and I have to like borrow my parents' car, and I have to take the bus or whatever. So I just kind of stayed at home most of the time. But now that I have a car, you know, these things are starting to click into place.
Not loose or anything. It doesn't shake or anything in the highway. So, now, you can see I got WD. It doesn't shake or anything in the highway. So, now, you can see...
That's another thing, bro. I've been begging my dad to get WD-40 all this time. He's like, we don't have any? And no, we don't have any, okay? No. Why don't you look around and find it if you say we do? Well, why don't you buy it? No, I'm not going to do that, because here's what I want the WD-40 for. My windshield wipers are crap. They are crapola, but they're actually not broken. So, but they just clean horribly. They clean like a grade schooler would clean a window. They're just really bad. They leave streaks everywhere. It doesn't clean the window. It makes it more dirty. So, I looked at a video that says you can use WD-40 on like the wiper ends. And that would actually make it clean a lot better. So I want to try to do something like that, because I don't want to replace windshield wipers, bro. I don't want to do that. Last time I tried to do that, it literally cracked the windshield because I did it wrong. But I mean, come on, if I can just use WD-40 to fix it, it's like, bruh, why am I spending all this money to replace them? No, just give me the WD-40. I'll spray them up.
I got WD-40, but you don't want to use regular WD-40.
Well, the video in the comment section says it works.
This is the Specialist.
Which is not common on YouTube, by the way.
The white lithium grease, because it doesn't eat up the rubber, and it's relatively waterproof. it will last. It will last a lot longer than if you put spray silicone. You could just spray silicone. It might last a while, but then when it rains, it will go.
So where's he spraying this on?
It doesn't shake or anything in the highway. So, now, you can see I got WD-40, but you don't want to use regular WD-40. It's petroleum-based. It can eat the rubber up. This is
silicone-based WD-40.
sway parts, and those are the end links.
What is he going to use it on? Because none of these have an issue.
It doesn't shake or anything in the highway.
Is it the bushing?
So, now, you can see I got WD-40.
I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Because
wireless
it doesn't eat up the rubber. And it's relatively waterproof. It will last. It will last a lot longer than if you put spray silicone. You could just spray silicone. It might last a while, but then when it rains, it will go away. Now, the reason I'm almost positive this will stop the noise is because he's told me one fact, that the noise goes away when it's raining. Well, when you got warm bushings on metal and they're wet, well, then they slide, they don't make any noise. So, here we go. We're going to start on these big ones here on the control arm.
Okay, he's spraying it on the bushing.
Good. That's the front. I mean, that's the back. What am I saying? There's the front.
Now, my car doesn't have any noise, so I'm going to kind of skip this. But,
and
yeah, this is a control arm.
Maybe these two. They could be squeaking, right?
I don't even know what that is supposed to be.
And of course, this
I guess if it's a bushing, it can still make noise.
Sway bar bushing. It could be
okay, the sway bar bushing. But yeah, I'm starting to understand things. Like,
this is the...
when I was looking in this area of my car, like this thing, this is the rack and pinion, but there was like another part here somewhere. Where is it? That I thought was actually the rack and pinion. It's not this, but is it gonna show it? I saw it, bro. I know I saw it. Yeah, this one right here. This one right here. I was like, that kind of looks shiny. Like, is that leaking or something? But I like felt around it and it didn't really feel like there was any liquid on there. So I don't know why it was shiny. Maybe just, I don't know, some substance got on there, or maybe some oil spill from my oil change. But yeah, like that, it was all shiny. It took me a while to figure out that this was a CV axle. But yeah, I mean, maybe we could do like a CV axle fix job at some point. But I think at this point it's fine. So, but it's kind of interesting that it was shiny that day, because I literally thought it was the rack and pinion. I was like, oh no, please don't tell me I gotta replace that, please. And I didn't, so that's good.
The hood, check out the top end, the strut and stuff.
Okay. Why is he checking the top?
Doesn't really look that bad. I can see he's been spraying oil on it so they don't rust. Smart man, right? And look, that's whistle clean. That's not rusted. Sometimes
I'm so glad we don't got rust here.
Bad, but that's not the case. Interesting new tool I just got. It's Johnson.
Now the heat here is horrendous,
but it's made to put
we don't have rust.
The wheels back on and torque them correctly. That was a very interesting impact wrench because it does torque setting. In this case, this is a 19 millimeter.
Let me tell y'all something. I will never get a car with like proper leather until I get myself a covered garage. There's just no way. Like with like Mercedes or BMW grade leather, no fucking way. I will definitely, I will get the house first. The house with the garage. There's no question about it. Or the apartment with the garage if I can't get the house. Because I don't trust the sun. If I just leave it outside all the time, I don't want to be conditioning that crap all the time. No, that's not how I roll. And it's not gonna be my daily driver anyway.
So we set this for 19 millimeters. On now set at 19. Now we'll
what's he doing?
To put it back on. First we'll make them snug.
19 millimeters. That's how thick these are. These lug nuts are. They look humongous.
See, it knows it's 19 inches. Now watch this. See how it's green? It stopped at the correct torque. Watch this. It's amazing.
Oh, I think that's the distance of how it's supposed to be.
Pretty cool, huh? Does a different size lug nuts. And when it's done, you see the light went green and it stopped torquing it. You don't need a torque wrench. It's a real handy tool for somebody who works on a bunch of cars. Well, let's bring it
That's
down.
cool, but I'm not going to do that. I don't think I'm fit for that. My back, when I work on cars, is just absolutely gets shot.
One thing, we just did this. It's best to spray it, let it soak overnight. It'll soak its way in, but just out of curiosity.
Not everybody can work on cars like that.
Quiet it down. We're backing it up. And as you notice, the squeak is gone. Now, why do we have to do this with modern cars? Well, that's because old cars, you had a grease gun, there might have been 16, 18 grease fittings all over the front of the car. And when I was a young mechanic, we'd change the customer's oil, we'd have it up on a lift, and then we would stick this end on each grease fitting, squeeze it till a little grease came out the bottom, and re-grease them. Cars haven't had those for ages, so wherever the rubber is, eventually it wears, it's going to make some noise. And so you can put lithium. If you watch one of my older videos, you can also use AT205 Reseal. It rejuvenates rubber bushings. It's not as readily accessible and it's super expensive, but the lithium is waterproof too, so you know it works quite well.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with the
WD-40.
WD-40.
This thing has lived in Massachusetts its whole life, right? And yeah, there's corrosion. You saw the superficial rust. It's actually in pretty good shape. It's in better shape than my son's Camry that's about the same age, where his front rotors actually cracked and were breaking off from the rust. You noticed the man did spray anti-corrosion on the 3 bolts on the top of his strut. That's a good thing to do. A lot of people here will use that New Hampshire special treatment that guys do and do it once every year or every 2 years on the bottom to keep things from corroding. That is a pretty good idea to do if you live in a climate like this. But no matter where you are, as modern cars age,
that's something I think that comes with experience. You just find the places that it rusts and then you just spray them up.
The biggest tip in this particular job was the fact he said,
because there's no way you can just predict where it's going to go to.
And when it's wet, it slips.
There's so many parts on a car, it's just unbelievable.
Creaky noises, so I knew it had to do something to do with it. But if you don't like noises, hey, get spray lithium. You can do the door hinges too. They'll often stick. Anything that's rubber and metal, the lithium sticks on it. It's a very good lubricant. Stops noise and it lasts an awful long time. Overall, this car's in pretty good shape. He bought it last year, right? And you know it's in Massachusetts. I don't see any big rust. You know, it's superficial stuff, but the body's still in really good shape. Even the fancy Honda rims aren't too bad. Take it to a little polishing though. So now you know what to do if your car is making creaking noises. Check to make sure nothing's worn out. Let's say I would have been down there in those rubber bushings instead of being corroded.
Oh yeah, another thing that's really cool.
But even though this thing's been through many Massachusetts winters falls on the road, it's still in pretty solid shape.
This chair hasn't been making nearly as much noise. And all I did was just stop using it for a while. And then, bam, it started making, like, almost no noise. But bro, isn't there like a website where he shows his tools? Or am I tripping?
All right, today we got a first. This is the first Palisade hybrid 3-row vehicle. Is it worth buying?
Let me go back to the video because I remember which one it was. It was this right here. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Is he pouring like...
So you can make a wise decision if you're thinking about buying one.
That's oil. He's like, don't pour an oil in your car. It's like, what?
Loaded with technology. Now, it's the first hybrid version. He drove from Buffalo to a house in beautiful Rhode Island, and he got 39.5 miles a gallon. Pretty good for an actual 3-row vehicle with a lot of power. 39.5 miles a gallon. Pretty good
It's
for
a
an
hybrid.
actual 3-row vehicle with a lot of power.
Alright, it's probably
Real
here.
gas mileage, a real guy driving
No,
it.
I don't
Got
want a
some
jump starter.
advertising brochure, right? Now, you might say, what did he pay for?
Okay.
Well, he
Let me
paid
see how much this
Canadian
costs,
dollars,
actually.
so
Just in case.
you think it's too much, but in terms of American dollars, he paid like $57,000 for it, which is a good price for something that's this big. Now, it is the first.
Yeah, that's
hybrid.
crazy,
I know
bro.
some people are gonna say, Scotty, you're a hypocrite.
What is that,
You say,
like a
never
water
buy
bottle's
the first
worth?
year model. But
Of
Hyundai's
fluid?
been making hybrids for a decade
And it costs
and a half,
20 bucks.
and he
Oh
got
my
a
goodness.
long warranty with this thing. It's 7 years. And
Not as
200,000
bad
kilometers,
as
so it's like
Toyota,
170,000 mile warranty. So if something does go wrong, hey,
what is it
don't
called?
cancel.
Differential
It's
and
not
transfer
really
case fluid, but oh
a
my
gamble.
goodness.
Hey, they gotta fix the
It's
thing.
probably
That's
second
the great.
place.
But the thing about Hyundai hybrids are, they've never really had any problems. 3-row SUV, there's one.
Okay, I don't care about the car. I'm sorry, bro. I've seen enough of this. Just show me what the issue is, bro. Like, can we not deal with this? Oh, there's legroom. Oh, there's mirrors. Okay. Intelligent cruise control. It's got a Bose sound system. It's a Palisade. Okay, so it's a new video, but it doesn't have an issue, so I don't really care about it. Sorry. Alright, let's see. It says no more Korean crap, but it's not actually an issue with the car. Let's check this one. No one buys this car. Scotty's videos haven't been getting as many videos lately.
No one buys.
I don't know
this
why he
car.
changed the way he does
Okay,
his
there I got an
thumbnail
interesting one. Lucid,
stuff here.
the car that no one buys.
Oh yeah, I saw this already. No one buys them, everybody leases them. And they should. They should lease them. Alright, let's see. Okay. Let me check this one. Because I remember I used to have issues with corrosion with the battery all the fucking time. Okay, that's a pretty decent discount. Alright. I don't really like buying shit from Amazon, though. I literally would rather get it from the auto parts store, even if I have to pay, like, a little bit more money. Let's see. Headlight coating, headlight restoration kit, car scratch remover, car polish, glass cleaner. Let me see this. Streak free, guaranteed. Glass cleaner. Glass so clean you think it's invisible. Pack of 3. One of these is $5. I'd rather get the one if it's gonna be a cheaper unit price. So I don't know who they think they are, making me pay more for a 3-pack. But $5 isn't fucking bad. If I do say so myself, it isn't bad. I don't think I'm gonna bother with this one. Actually, it's better just to look at the video itself. Yeah, he just drives the car and then blah 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 blah. Okay, who cares? So this is another vehicle. Let's see this one here.
All right, right, today we got two vehicles that they don't make.
Is this an
anymore
Oldsmobile?
for completely different reasons. They're completely different vehicles, but it's quite an interesting story. We're going to start with this 2000 Oldsmobile.
Yeah!
This was the
I love
last
Oldsmobile.
SUV of GM. Basically, they were rebadged Blazers.
Look
later
at this.
on.
This is
Yeah,
fucking
amazing.
awesome.
And it was the top of the line. You can see this one is Smart Track. It's all-wheel drive. They've had it for like 14 years. They stopped in 2004 because GM.
How could they kill off Oldsmobile, bro?
The last real Oldsmobile.
They killed off Oldsmobile, but they kept Chevrolet. Come on, man.
Their fancy vehicles, right? So this was the top line version of the GM SUV. It's not like Oldsmobile even existed for a long time.
How could you call yourself General Motors if all you really have is Chevrolet? Chevrolet and Buick. That's it.
Hey, might be a pretty decent vehicle, right? Guy picked it up around $3,000 a couple of years ago, so you can't really complain about that. And a pan gasket put on because it was leaking out, but
you can, but I'll let him have that one.
Got a relatively dependable 4.3 liter V6 engine. No turbo, no GDI.
I mean, bro, it's a 24-year-old car at the time that he bought it. A 24-year-old car. And he paid as much as you would pay back in the day for like a fucking 12-year-old car, bro. Like half the amount of years, you could probably get a car for $2,000 back in the day. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty to complain about. You used to be able to get cars this old for like $500. Maybe 1,000 at the most.
You take care of them, they can last quite some time. And strange enough, the AC still works. Still got the original compressor on it. They had to put some hoses and stuff on it, but
this is an SUV. Maybe you get 1,500.
Parts are still completely original. Of course,
I honestly doubt it though.
Got AutoZone battery in it.
Because it's not like a perfect condition
It's got
car.
one big problem. It's a gas hog. On a good day, you might get 14 miles a gallon in this thing. They are gas hogs.
Who cares? This is a fucking Oldsmobile.
Gas hog for 173,000 miles. So
look at that.
argue.
That's so futuristic. The fucking green and black. That's a hacker car right there.
73,000 miles, so you can't argue. Here it's got the usual leather seat cracks and stuff, you know. The back seats are pretty good. Probably didn't have a big family. Has a pretty dependable transmission. Little starter.
Wait, let me hear that
Has a
again.
Pretty dependable transmission. Little starter up.
There's something about old cars.
The dash is still in good
Starting
shape.
up.
Faded a little, but it's not
It just-
cracked or anything. Oh, he's young,
It just
so of course he put a
feels
radio
more
Bluetooth
real to me.
system in it. It didn't come with that, but you know, it's got
It feels
dual
like
climate control.
there's
I
like
feel
distance
this is
between
a
you
luxury
and the
vehicle,
car when
and
you
it's
hear a
got
newer vehicle start
the
up.
leather seats, even the leather shifter here. Power windows, power door locks, real brake. Not one of those electronics because it's old, less things to break, right? Then got a wiper in the rear, a button for the rear hatch, you airbags, decent glove box. It has a compass that you can go U.S. metric temperature. We use a lot of salt in Virginia.
Oh,
It's
that's
held up
surprising
pretty
considering
well.
how
You
old
can
that
see
is.
The tow hook has superficial rust, but it's still solid as can be, but yeah, the wheel wells aren't eaten up. Now, sure, the Ally wheels have seen better days, but you could polish them or paint them, whatever you wanted to do. And the plastic's a little faded, but like I said, it hasn't rotted away. So let's hook up the scan tool, see what's going on inside. If it just plugs in here in the OBD port, because it's a 2000. New tool I'm trying out, a launch.
Here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna show the scan tool tablet, and then he's gonna launch all those systems scanning. Because he doesn't know how to fast forward shit. So I'm gonna fast forward it to him. Look at that. He's scanning this, scanning that, blah blah blah. What I tell you? Did I call it or did I call it? I know Scotty 2 will fucking well. Wait, OnStar?
Electric car had the extender. It even had OnStar at one point in time. We got no problem.
That's not a luxury feature.
Right, let's look at some live data. We'll start her up. Nice rolling idle. Ignition system's working good. That's 13.
What could you get with this vehicle with OnStar?
It's adding a little fuel, 3.1%. But bank 2 It's
I can't even
running
imagine.
perfect.
You have the compass
So
already.
it's adding a little fuel on bank one. Probably has a little vacuum.
So what does OnStar give you
On an
exactly?
old car like this. Airflow is stable, and 0 on bank 2. But then it changes a little 3. It goes up.
We're checking the
On
fuel
an old car
trim.
like this, you're gonna expect some Vaseline.
Is he ever gonna like go under the car?
Well, this thing's pretty good, so let's take it for a spin. Oh, here we go. Start her up. Of course, this baby's not gonna have a backup camera. I can tell you that.
Wait.
Up and down. On an old car like this, you're gonna expect some Vaseline.
I just want to hear that startup sound again.
73,000 miles. This thing's pretty good, so let's take it for a spin. Oh, here we go. Start her up. Of course, this baby's not gonna have a backup camera.
And I only got to the end of it.
It's got a rearview mirror. Works just as good if you know how to use it. Idles like a dream. Hey, this thing is
No, it
26
doesn't, but,
years old,
but okay.
170-something thousand miles on it, and it still idles like a dream. Goes over the big bump, and yeah, it bounces around a little. Shocks are pretty old on this thing, but it still goes pretty straight down the road. What's up here? Something's in the road. What is that? Vultures.
Is that a Muscovy?
Vultures
Oh
in
man,
the road.
even
2
better.
of them. Some kind of a sign? I don't know. Gotta say, so far, it handles pretty good for an old vehicle that he paid $3 grand for.
I remember when I went to Vista View Park, somebody was like talking about vultures, and there was like, oh, that pattern, that flying pattern. I immediately recognized that as a vulture, and I was like, whoa, you can actually figure out what birds are based on their flight patterns, and it actually makes a lot of sense. And now I think about it, that's actually pretty cool. That you can just be like, oh, let me just analyze the flight pattern and figure out what bird that is. I think I might make that one of my hobbies. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll make bird watching a hobby or something, and try to figure out which bird it actually is. I mean, my dad made stars his hobby, so maybe I'll make bird watching my hobby.
Was a mechanic, so he found it for him. And the guy, he obviously knew what he was looking for. Go. We'll give it a little gas. Listen to that. Still runs great. At 4.3 liter V6, it's got plenty of power.
I love it.
But unfortunately, the best it's going to get is about 14 miles a gallon. Yeah, they're gas hogs. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. This is the price you gotta pay.
Corner's good. No real suspension play in it.
It's an SUV.
Hey, back in the day, GM
It's
was
never gonna
making
corner that
vehicles,
great.
like I say, this is a 2000. I'd say GM stopped making good vehicles maybe 2001, 2002. This thing is still pretty solid. I have no problems climbing up the hill. I gotta say, his father's a pretty smart mechanic. $3 grand for this thing 2 years ago. It's still a real solid vehicle. Well, we'll fire the mail truck. Going to the old neighborhood here. I wish you this thing is in a lot better shape than that old mail truck.
Man, one of those days, those fucking mail trucks are gonna go extinct.
We don't even have to slow down all that much over.
And then we're gonna be telling our grandkids, hey, we used to have like those big box mail trucks all over the place. You can literally go on YouTube and find that shit. And they're like, whoa, we never see that anymore. It's like, yeah.
A gallon gas mileage isn't that big of a deal to him. He's not driving cross country in a thing. Back in 2000, it's a pretty solid vehicle still today. Hasn't rusted out, doesn't burn oil. AC still works. So, even
Maybe go
though
get
they
some
don't make
water.
them anymore, and of course, they really couldn't make them anymore because they can't sell vehicles that get 14 miles a gallon. They get penalized too much. But if you don't care about the gas mileage, you can find one of these still rolling along that's in a shape like this. Hey, snap it off, if only for a hunting vehicle or a second vehicle or a vehicle to pull a bunch of crap around with. Hey, it was luxury in its time. Now it's just a practical all-wheel drive vehicle. Now here's number 2, a vehicle they don't make anymore. I'll tell you why they don't. This is a 95 Toyota Previa. People either loved them or hated them. I guess the Crow didn't particularly go for it, but hey, what does he know? Now,
that the
the
minivan?
80s, for like 17 years, they stopped selling them in the United States.
Oh my gosh, the minivan.
With the Toyota Sienna, a lot more horsepower, right? But they still sold these things for another 10 years in the rest of the world. So people like these things. The one in 95 is quite interesting because not only is it the all...
That car looks super dated.
got all-wheel drive.
That's not like the Sienna at all.
Believe it or not, this baby is supercharged. So the supercharged has got like 161 horsepower. Not that much for a supercharger, but it beats 130 or so for the non-supercharged ones. The main reason, well, there's two main reasons
Yeah.
to make it. One is they were too slow for Americans. Americans want stuff with more power, especially if they're going up mountains, racing around.
Mountains, highways, etc.
They wanted more power. And number two, things
There's
just
not
cost
enough
too much
power,
money to manufacture.
unfortunately.
Because the engine's hiding in here in the middle, but as we look under the hood, it's got a
Even though it's very fuel
interesting
efficient.
aspect to it. Yeah, you look in here, you see the power steering, the air conditioner, the alternator. Look at a little flashlight, now you can see it better. See, it's all down in the front here. And of course, then they put sliding doors on both sides, not just one side. This has got the one side. You see the paint's a little faded. It lived in Las Vegas for a while. The sun kind of beat down on it, but I mean, hey, it's still going down the road.
Same thing with Florida.
It's got a third of a million
Exactly the
miles
same
on it. It
thing.
doesn't burn any oil. These were solid built vehicles. There's no one arguing that. Now, there could be a maintenance pain because the engine's in the middle. You got to take the seats out to get the spark plugs, yada, yada, yada. But they are really solid built. It's just, they were so solid built, they cost too much money to build. And in the Siennas, of course, everyone's dying to get the Siennas now. Plus, with the hybrid Siennas, hey, you can get close to 40 miles a gallon.
Man, I bet like if you look just like half a decade ago, or I mean maybe half a decade's not enough time, but like if you go just a decade ago, everybody was like, oh man, the minivan, ugh, I'll never buy a minivan. And nowadays, everybody's just like swarming towards the Sienna. There's like, minivan, gimme now, and now they're just like raising their prices. It's actually wild, what's going on with the Sienna right now. I mean, from what you hear on the internet, it's like nobody wants a minivan, but then you look in the real world, and it's like everybody wants a minivan. Now there are less models than there used to be. I mean, Ford used to make one, Dodge used to make one, Chevy used to make one, but now it's just Chrysler and Toyota and Honda. I think those are the only ones. Kia technically makes one too.
This thing, not so much. Because this thing only gets 15 miles a gallon in town. He can get, say, 24, 25 on the highway. Yeah, if he drives conservatively, realize this is a supercharger on it, you step on the gas, whoop, the gas mod goes down. But pretty much Toyota reliability. You can see this is one of the early Toyotas that used the R134A. Instead of using
what in the hell is that? Is that the intake? That thing is massive.
This baby's made in Japan. That is probably why it has lasted so long. Not just like the Sienna, a lot of space in these babies. Now, of course, the Sienna's got a little more space, but still, it's a serious 3-year-old vehicle. And these cloth seats, baby, hey, they might be
cloth seats are the goat
old, but they've held up
in
quite
the South.
Well. Now you can see it still has the original Toyota hubcaps on the
completely
right side
unstoppable,
of the vehicle.
and they don't
faded away.
absorb as much heat as rust does. I mean, as leather does.
Right? There's another original one, and here's a replacement white one. No one knows what's going on here, but you do want to have hubcaps to keep stuff off of the lug nuts, you know. And you can see, of course, the plastic. It always fades like that. You can do it over black if you really want to. The main thing is,
know if I agree with
these
that
things
necessarily.
are great transportation devices. And since it's a 95, guess what? It actually has, an OBD2 plug. Let's see if it works. So here goes nothing, all right? We'll plug in the OBD plug.
Wait, 1990 what? 95?
An OBD2
That's kind of early to have
Let's see if it
OBD2.
works. So here goes nothing, all right? We'll plug in the OBD plug. It fits. It's lighting up, so it's working. Sometimes 95s can be tricky, so let's see. And I know it's not going to do auto ID.
Yeah, no shit.
It's too old.
It's very old.
We'll go to Toyota.
Put it in manually.
Diagnosis. This does worldwide, so it should be on here. Look at all the different models they make. It's insane. And it's a 95. Got that on it. Here we go. Let's see if we can read anything. Okay. There it is. It doesn't do a topology scan. This is a topology. BCM is the only one that's in it. So, here we go. Look, it's actually
what a
I'm shocked.
basic
What do
network.
we have? No fault code. So,
That's like a
let's
small
start
business
this baby
network.
up. It's scanning the system now.
Yo!
Let's start this baby up. It's scanning the system.
I love it.
But it's so
I love
old,
it. Sounds like a
unfortunately,
camera.
It will not do live data. Well, it doesn't have any trouble codes. It doesn't have any problems. It does that. But these old ones, you're not really going to get live data off of them. It also has the old style OBD1 port. So let's try that. We're going to use this launch scan tool. It has an adapter.
I honestly want a Camry.
All of the different adapters.
Like an old school one. Like before 2016.
So we're going to use that. We'll see if it'll read data stream or not. It's 1992 above because it's.
I would love to own a
and even
Camry.
this won't read the data stream. Shows a lot of.
I don't know if I want, if I'm willing to pay for one, but I would love to
The
own one.
OBD didn't work. A lot of times they won't on a 95, but the OBD1 is supposed to work.
I probably
And
just turn it and
just
burn it.
won't. Now, the Autel showed there were no codes.
If I could just own
You
it for a little
can't
bit,
read
that
the
I would
live
like
data,
that.
Because on
Quite a
this
bit.
95, you can't get the
I
live
didn't care about
data
the taxes or
through
nothing
any
like
of
that.
the systems.
Fuck it, fuck
You
the
would have
taxes.
to have the Toyota factory scan tool, and that thing's so old. I'm sure the Toyota dealers don't even have them anymore. Previous owner gave him the Toyota Previa Haynes. These Haynes manuals are insane. It's a shame old man's Haynes is dead because these things were phenomenal. They
I actually have
were
one of
each
those.
individual car. They're great. Now it's digital.
Unfortunately, I had to get rid of my minivan,
This whole
so
thing, and it's as good as gold. So we know it's got no trouble calls.
I don't know how useful it's going to be nowadays,
So let's take
especially
it
with
for a
all the
ride and see how that
changes that have gone
supercharger
through
works.
modern cars
So, of course,
lately.
it's got a real handbrake, none of this BS electronic stuff. It has the usual
My car's a
thing.
handbrake.
Toyota seat belts.
Hell
They do
yeah.
that when they age on these old ones. So here we go.
Yes, they do.
Gosh, no backup camera.
Car sounds awesome.
Good bravado. We gotta look out the back this time. What do I notice? Okay, let's look at speedometer. 334,344 miles. Idles like a dream. These things were overbuilt. They really were. Now we're going over the
Overbuilt in
bump.
a good way.
I'm not gonna go too fast.
Because some things are overbuilt
The
in
chance of a
a
car.
way that makes it
But it made it
unreliable.
over. Now, the transmissions in these things are pretty much bulletproof. I've never ever seen one break, and that says something. I used to work on a whole bunch of these things. It works, get a little worn out, just like the rest of the vehicle, but hey, it's tracking straight. It takes the bumps somewhere.
I wish my transmission was as unstoppable as this
I
one.
can handle the bumps without being too bad. So here we go to the top of the
I think the
wall.
owner destroyed it, but
And there's a modern Toyota. Look at that.
nah,
Let's
the owner
paint job,
definitely
gotta
destroyed
say.
it, bro. Nobody complains about these
Done the paint job
transmissions.
on this one. They learned
So it had to have
something.
been the owner.
So let's check out the supercharger. Here we go. Makes a lot of noise, and it does pull the vehicle. It certainly doesn't throw you back in the seat. Let me tell you that. Let's
Of
see, can it
course
still fire?
not.
Yes, it can.
Dude,
Now, yeah,
what?
they
Stop
making these,
stop
but
saying
because they didn't have enough
stupid
power
things
to
like
put
that,
a
man.
supercharger, and they cost too much money to make. Now, it's not like this thing can't climb hills. It'll go up the hill. It's just that they didn't have the power that most Americans wanted. It only cost them $4,500. Yeah, it's got a lot of miles, but I've these things 500,000-600,000 miles, no problems at all.
What is that? Hold on, my thing is
It doesn't have any rust.
misaligned
It's
here.
awful dry out in Las Vegas. And like the owner
Yeah,
said, look,
let's do
here's
that.
the field of view inside this thing. You see everything. You're not going to miss anything.
This is
So there
insane.
you have it. The second, the two cars they don't make anymore.
It's like a
Well,
quasi
I gotta
sunroof.
say, they both were decent. Of course, this one's got 330,000, third of a million miles on it. It's still running this good, right? And even with a supercharger, it's somewhat underpowered. But that's not the point. They stopped making them because they didn't have the power, but they cost too much money to build, too. Now, when
Now
they
it's
stop
making
selling
noise
in the United
again,
States,
but it's
they're
not
still
too bad.
selling in the rest of the world for another 10 years. So a lot of people like these vans. I know people in England that love them, people in Australia that love them because they're pretty much, with just a tiny amount of maintenance, indestructible vehicles.
We'll go to the next video.
If you could find one like this, especially one from
Why is it
the
not doing
desert
it?
west, like Las Vegas, with no rust at all, I'd say.
Alright, let's look at more products. Let's see. Quick twist oil drain valve for fast and easy oil changes. What is this to? Oh shit! You put this on your oil drain plug? Okay. I guess you just figure out how big your drain plug is and then match that. But holy shit, $55? Well, if it saves you time, it might be worth it. Let's see. Sooner Power Waterproof. Okay, this literally looks like some Chinese crap. Yeah, this is definitely some Chinese crap. Everything automotive is now made in China. I got like my super cap from China. That thing was a piece of shit. Carcarena was like glazing the crap out of it. And I was like, damn, if Carcarena likes it, it must be legit. It's not. It's just another piece of crap made from China. And it sucks because it cost me $200. Dash cam, I already have dash cam. Key finder, what? No. This is weird. What? A key finder? No. Keys, wallet, remote control, pet, and your phone. Bro. What? Baddie life. 10 months. A baddie life. How to change the battery for the receiver. Just tell me what technology it uses. Like, what is it? How are you going to tell me that it can locate all these different things? The loud sound, okay. What is it, like a hot and cold thing? You know what, let me just see a video.
Everything you get with this unit.
Maybe this will help me a little
On
bit
each
to
receiver,
understand
you'll
what's
need to
going
install
on.
the button cell battery. This is a CR2032 battery. On the back, there is a battery compartment. Open this up. Install the battery. Put the cover back on. And repeat for the other receivers. You also need to install batteries on the transmitter. It uses 2 AAA batteries. It's not included.
So you have to put that on your key in order to locate
The
it.
transmitter battery is installed when you press a button on the transmitter. The corresponding receiver, the sound. There's a green one. It also comes with these key rings and double-sided tape. We can attach the key ring to the receiver. So for example, I can attach this receiver onto a car key.
Okay, I get it,
And if I
but
press a
how do you
transmitter,
use that with the other products?
it'll sound the receiver.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Use this double-sided tape, put on the back of the receiver, and then you stick this on remote control or any other items you want to locate in your home. Now this system
Yeah,
uses
that's
radio
kind of
frequency to
janky.
transmit to
I
the
can't even
receiver,
lie to you.
And it has a range of 30 meters and can
See, the
transmit
devil is
from
always in the
home,
details, no
from
matter
walls,
what. It is
to
useful for
the
keys,
receiver,
no
to
question
the
about it.
transmitter.
But the remote, I don't think so, bro. I don't think it's finna work like that.
And here it is.
That thing looks too heavy to
It also
just
comes
stick
with
on top of a
stand
remote
where you can
control.
place your transmitter. This S-Key item locator device is a
Okay.
great device to have in your home if you need to locate your keys or purse or even TV remote. Everything works right out of the box. There's no setup or configuration. All you need to do is install the battery in the receiver and it'll start working right away.
Here's the other issue, bro. Like if I lose the remote, I'm probably going to know that it's in the same room. Unless somebody just like hides it somewhere, you know. But like I'm gonna hear the noise. It'd be one thing if people took the remote control to different places, but they're not gonna do that. So I think I might use, if I were to get this, I would use it for my keys. Because sometimes I do lose my keys. It's very easy to locate my keys, but it could be easier with this little device or whatever the crap. I don't know, remote control pet phone. I didn't know pets use mobile devices, but okay. And a flashlight. They didn't even mention that part. The built-in flashlight is designed to brighten low-light environments, ensuring you can effortlessly locate your lost item. I guess there's a flashlight component to it as well. Ultimate Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas gift idea. Shit, I missed out on that opportunity. There's always next year. But, so I'll keep that in mind for next year. Because I know my mom will always be asking, where's the remote, where's the remote, where's the remote? So, you know, if I could just get that, maybe, like, at least just to be like, hey, I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of your issues. You feel what I'm saying? Tire gauge, it's pretty self-explanatory. Car memory saver. Car odor eliminating rocks. Removes the smells in your car. Okay. Best tools for working. Magnetic work light. Small flashlight. Multi-use flashlight. Car battery tester. Let's take a look at this. I don't think this is what he... Is this what he used?
To sell you a really expensive battery, might not even be that good of a battery.
Let me see this.
If it's stretched in here,
This is a very
all
small
the
discount.
time,
I think
you
I get a
don't
bigger
wanna wait
discount
till
than
it's
that.
broken. You don't want to do. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, because then
That
you'll be
discount's pretty much
stranded.
insignificant
Now, of
to me.
course, the most important main
It's
thing you wanna
$60
do
as
in
far
your
as I'm
car,
concerned.
You don't want to wait till the engine breaks. It's changing the oil. I'm a firm believer in changing it every 5,000 miles. Full synthetic oil, a full synthetic filter, and your engine's going to last forever. But something a lot of people don't think about is the coolant. Hey, the coolant's going to last forever. Here's the coolant overflow in this case. Coolant doesn't last forever. Now, you got to look it up for your own individual car, but in the case of these Toyotas, I buy the Toyota type coolant. Toyota.
Is it here?
Specs of your vehicle.
Okay, where's the basic one?
Really want? Broke, don't fit. This one's nice and tight. I got this nice Olight flashlight. It's nice and bright.
What?
And when we look down,
Oh, here it is, right here.
thing. When I test it, everything's fine. Now that's a fancy mechanics tool. Well, this is an Ansel BA301. It's a battery tester. Does the same thing. When I test
I knew
the
it. There's
air-
another one available.
This is an Ansel BA.
Let me see if I can get this one here. Let's take a look at this. Battery load tester. Okay. Let's look at a video. Okay, there's a graph that's pretty nice, I suppose. State of health, 79%. Give it a good charge. Quickly get test results at a glance. Just give me the fucking video. This is ridiculous. They don't have a video? Well, they do give you a little bag at least. That's not bad, I suppose. This one's a similar price. But I kind of like this one more because it has like a
top-down battery tester right here, so I can test my cold cranking amp.
it has like an old school screen,
I know for sure if it's my battery. See, we're gonna turn
kind of like a
it on
Tamagotchi-esque,
here. My battery is supposed to
T80
have
TI-83
750
calculator-esque
cold cranking amps.
type shit.
So we'll hit enter. testing the cold cranking amps right now. Well, my battery is 99% healthy. I'm at 727 cold cranking amps. It's 100% charged. Good battery.
This is the Top Don 100 battery tester.
Okay.
This
So,
is the Top Don 200 battery tester. There is quite the size difference. Right off the bat, the one
There
thing
is.
I like about the 200 is the bigger display. You still get the same functions with both. So I did a quick battery test, and this is connection issues because I got it hooked in a bad spot to get them both hooked up. The battery is good as brand new. One thing I really like about both of them is the review it gives you of the battery. And that's really nice. Go check them out. They're both in my showcase, but I like the 200 a lot better because it's a lot bigger, a lot easier to read. It has...
okay. I'm not really concerned about any of that personally. Hmm.
301's battery tester does the same thing. When I tell
I don't know if I really want to get. Let me see. State of charge, state of health, charging test, ripple analysis, voltage test, cranking test, load test, resistance test, data storage, data print. This one looks a little bit more involved. So I think it's like, okay, you got a voltage test, then this is cranking test. I think that's more like an amp thing. Resistance. Charging test. I'm just trying to figure out, like, okay, this one tests your alternator. This one says it's a battery tester. The generator. Charging test, charging low. Charge. They have videos, but the other one does not have videos. Car, motorcycle, waveform. Bro, y'all need videos. Let me see him use
Plus
it.
the disc, it came with the same result. So you can buy a $50 tool that'll check stuff like that yourself if you don't trust people. Mind you, it's certainly not as fancy as this, and this can actually look up all the specs of your vehicle. It's got a dongle that plugs into the OBD port. It's a very complex tool, right? And if there's problems that people have that nobody else can figure out, I use that. But for just a general check to see if your car's working good enough, you can use one of these. Now, you don't waste your money on an expensive battery. Most are over 200 bucks. Expensive alternators that run you 800 or 900 bucks with labor. Expensive starters that can run just as much as the alternator. But it's a good idea to test them every so often, because it's not broken now. What if it strands you somewhere? Then, hey, if a tow truck guy comes, he's going to try to sell you a really expensive battery. It might not even be that good of a battery. They buy them cheap and sell them high, right? Or if your starter...
Here's the thing, man. That stuff's expensive, but I don't know. The thing is that it's one thing to be like, oh, I know whether my battery or alternator is good. Oh man, I'm so smart. But then it's another thing when it actually when something actually goes wrong, and then you're just like, oh fuck. I haven't been testing this for like a long time, so I don't know. I don't have a suspicion on what it could possibly be. And at that point you're just like, okay, I got to get everybody to jumpstart me, and I got to do this and that. and it's fucking embarrassing, and I lost my independence, and I kind of just want to not have to do this anymore. So, how much do I have to pay? And then it's just, then you get into trouble. So, I don't know. I feel like I should get this. I don't know if I want to get this one or this one, but I definitely want to. I definitely want to be empowered for sure.
Our alternator goes bad and strange in the middle of.
But yeah, other than that and the product where he like what is it called? He does the headlights. There's not really much to this one. That's okay though. Not every video has to be a slam dunk. Touchdown. Home run. Soccer is the most lame one. Soccer is the worst sport.
Brand new with 2 miles.
I know it's a hot take.
150,000 miles.
But I would literally rather watch baseball,
on the bolts for the play here.
football, and basketball
So, of course,
than watch soccer.
A lot of superficial rust, you can see that.
Now, playing the sports, that's different. Baseball is easily the worst sport to play.
Long ago, that's got like 153,000 miles on it. No surprise, it doesn't burn any oil. This is the dual variable valve timing, the intelligent version of it.
I think playing it,
1.8
soccer is actually the most
I'm
fun.
concerned it's probably the best.
I like soccer the
Four-cylinder
most.
engine Toyota ever made.
And then
Yes,
basketball.
Indeed. Like my 07 Matrix, he gets 38 miles a gallon on the highway. I only got 37, right?
Football and baseball are kind of like
Faster than the
even.
Matrix was. Stay Massachusetts car, you can see.
But I think I slightly
all
prefer
the
football.
aluminum is pitted, but that's just superficial rust. See, you can see.
But
it.
they're similar ebbs and
Superficial rust,
flows.
but it's not rotten through or anything. Toyota does an excellent job rust proofing when they build them. The whole body and everything is soaked in.
It's a lot of waiting and a
It's
lot of running.
Static, so
Or
the
sprinting,
anti-rust
rather.
additives aren't just sprayed
It's
on.
very American.
They actually go into the frame parts of the holes, soak the inside. One's positive, one's negative. It just attracts in, and they do hold up over time. They don't just rust and fall apart. Can't blame the car on this. He scraped it on the side of the Sagamore Bridge, and he's going to sand it down, prime it, and then get some paint, some quality paints online, and fix that up so it doesn't rust anymore. The real problem he had was the cheap plastic HVAC system. It's only stuck on recirc now. You don't want to take all the
What
dashes
the
and
hell?
fix all that stuff. That's just cheaper construction. The old ones didn't used to do that, but the newer ones that have more electronics, of course, there's more things to go wrong. And as you can see,
I might have already said this on previous streams, but I think the Corolla interior for 11th generation is absolutely incredible. I mean, they really did a good job designing this vehicle's interior. There's a parking brake. Okay, this might not be the right generation, but no, it is. Okay, yeah. I remember now. I had a parking brake. It's the newest generation that doesn't have a parking brake. So the screen is awesome. The clock is awesome. The vents are awesome. The handbrake is awesome. Even the shifter here has got some character because it has colors on the letters. The dashboard is awesome.
Of course, there's more things to go wrong. And as you can see,
The only thing that sucks is the freaking CVT. If they just had a regular 6-speed automatic, I would literally buy this car instead of the car that I
a
have.
very dependable transmission.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily would
But it's a
I would still think about it, but
CVT, and they're really dependable.
yeah, but
You
they
know,
still drone.
smaller car, less
So
weight,
it
any
doesn't
problems
matter
at
how
all.
dependable
Now,
they
this
are.
particular
And they
Corolla
also
was
cost
made
more money
in
than the automatic
Canada,
transmission.
right? And the Canadians,
Yeah, it's about that
I think,
expensive
do the
CVT
second
fluid.
best
I'm good.
job. Japanese seem to do the best, but
I
do
spend
have to
enough money
say,
on my car
Canadians
as it is.
seem to do the second best. My Matrix was a great car, and it was made in Cambridge, Ontario. So he hasn't really had any problems other than that HVAC thing, and he had a CV boot to rub.
I also have problems with my HVAC vents. They're just completely
But you gotta
flimsy.
consider, this baby's been living in Massachusetts.
So good to know that
his whole life.
I wouldn't
It's the
have avoided
original
that if I
owner
got the
since it had
Corolla.
2 miles on it, and it's still in solid mechanical shape. But you never know what's going on under the hood, so let's hook up our giant computer.
How many miles?
Oh, here we go with the giant scan tool. It's green, it's warming up with this standalone diagnostic. I like it because it doesn't have a smart key. Check it
Guess
out,
we'll find
it's got a
out.
regular key. And here we go with the topology scan, so away we go while it's doing it. Like I said, it's a little more modern, 2019, so it's electronic. I'm not a fan of the electronic stuff, and like I said, it's a
Come on, that is lit. Look at those buttons. Look at those levers that you can move up and down. That is awesome. You know, the buttons up here, okay, whatever. They look nice, but they could be better. But this screen looks cool. This is a nice looking car, man.
system is stuck in
This was peak
recirculating.
Corolla design.
Even though it says fresh air, it's not going to fresh air.
The newer cars can't compete with this. They just look too generic.
He's towing it out so he can reach in and pull it manually.
I like the look of this car, but I would never own one.
Trouble codes. So one is the GPS, which we really don't care. Everybody uses a phone, but just
There's just too much with the exterior that I don't like, and the CVT sucks,
but just for kicks.
and it's just kind of basic.
Now the next code has got an ECM code.
I would like the current car that I have with the interior of this car. That would be the dream.
Typical. A lot of times, just the key doesn't interface with the battery's low. See that all the time. So we'll erase that, and it probably won't even come back. You often see these startability codes in a Toyota. Just a thing that happens. Damper servo that he knows exactly. It's broken inside, right? I'll erase them, but they'll come back because it's not working.
Like the exterior mechanics of my car with the interior of this car is literally
More
the
plastic
dream.
than they used to. They're not going to disappear. And he's got a TPMS code for the tire pressure monitoring system. Probably got a bad battery.
I like my screen too, but I think that screen is actually better.
And the batteries inside the tire pressure units on the.
It also has a CD player, which my car doesn't have,
Transmitter
which
will
is
not receive
pretty nice to
data
have.
because hey, the battery's dead probably. Start her up. We'll look at some live data. We'll enter the system and check out live data of the whole system. Remember, black is good, red is bad. Now I expect this thing to work perfectly fine because he's getting 39 miles a gallon on the highway. It's got to be running good, right? I mean, come on, let's just face the facts. Battery voltage.
Okay, so Bernie's cleaner, gas mileage, black, no misfires, backup camera, kind of old, 149,000 miles, 38.4 miles a gallon. You can't really argue that. Sorghum roads. It's not a race car. Mine is a race car, though. I'm a flex, bro. I spent less money than this car. I'm gonna flex. My car is a go-kart. I bet the 0 to 60 on this car isn't as good as mine. There's no way. This car was meant for like economy, but it still failed because it was too big. ...2021 Accord. 0W20 oil. My car has that as well. That seems like the standard fully synthetic oil that they have. Start stop.
Got the stupid start stop, but you can push this and turn the stupid thing off. And yes, it has electric parking brakes. They all do these days. You can't get away from that. It doesn't have a key. It's keyless ignition, so we'll start her up.
Yeah, Honda.
This is a regular.
Honda.
Shut up, you can see. Dash
Honda definitely didn't do quite as good as Toyota.
You got a reasonable.
I mean, at this point, honestly, I don't know which company's worse.
I'm not so close to it. You can see it's got 78,000.
I think at this point, Honda kind of takes the edge. Like, if we're talking about brand new vehicles, I think I would rather get a
Here
Honda.
you can turn the traction control off.
Because Toyota's just making
You
so many
can play
mistakes
with
with their
your phone
infotainment.
Here, there's the cruise control. You can mess around with it.
Nice steering wheel. I like that. I like that it has a
screen. It looks like somebody glued it in as an afterthought. It doesn't really flow.
Yeah, screen. Who cares about the screen? That's not what you buy a Honda for.
Oh, we'll hook it up down here. Up it comes, and we'll see what shape it's on with 79,000 miles on it. No, you can definitely see the price differential. He bought this brand new. He paid $41,000. The 2019 Corolla, he paid $16,000 for that. So, hey, he got a pretty good deal with that Corolla. Apology scan, all right? So it's doing a full scan.
Isn't that how much it costs new?
Dash is in good shape. It's kind of interesting. Almost looks like a zebra effect. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's interesting. I'll give it that. The seats are still in excellent shape.
It's got character.
Like Poconos in the winter, and he sleeps in this thing at night. He just leaves the car running. So I asked his wife, "Do you sleep in it with him?" She said, "No, I got to stay in a luxury hotel." Sounds like my wife.
What? Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. He leaves the car running and he just sleeps in it? What? Bro. I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe if you take like a cat nap, you can get away with that. Wow, sleeping in the car with it running. That's crazy. I've slept in the car with it off. I think the one situation where an electric car would be better than a gas car is if you're going to live in it. Because as long as you don't drive it, you can pretty much just hang out in there, bro. Like, you don't have to worry about the engine failing or anything else going on. You don't have to do oil changes. I mean, there's kind of like an oil change sort of procedure, but I think that's just for four-wheel drive. Let's take a look at this one. Everybody hates these cars. Oh, they ain't gonna hate it after watching this video. I can tell you that.
Rev up your engine. All right, today we have an interesting car. It's an electric car. It's a BMW.
Oh God! Wait, Rich Rebuilds worked on this car. Son of a biscuit.
Rev up your engine.
New video? New video?
All right, today we have.
Wait, I saw something. Moana? Moana in fucking live action? Absolutely not. Y'all know Disney don't do live action very well. But yeah, Rich Rebuilds worked on this car at one point. I was hoping I would see a new video, but I didn't. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So it started off as a, I guess start right here. So the dealer said it wasn't worth fixing. I remember this one because he used a he used a drill to like drill underneath the floor of the car and just make like a hole. Because he didn't want to like take out the transmission and all that crap. Well, this is an electric car. No, it's a hybrid. I think it's hybrid.
Now it failed because
He just works on hybrids now, pretty much. Hybrids and gasoline cars.
But it also succeeded because it's a BMW. Well, what the heck does that mean? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. Now, it failed miserably in the United States because it's a BMW. And it wasn't tailored for a BMW audience, right? People with BMWs, like large cars that ride smooth. They're not particularly into small cars. They want luxurious cars, smooth riding, and they want to be able to drive all over the place, fill up with gas in 3 minutes and drive away, right? Okay. The range of these things is relatively limited, and the price was not. They were relatively expensive vehicles.
I'm pretty sure these are hybrids. Like, am I tripping? He said it's an electric car, but I'm pretty sure these are hybrids. I might be thinking of a different vehicle.
For $500. How'd I get that deal? All because the dealership told the previous owner that the car needed more repairs than it was worth. It's in my shop right now, basically dead.
He did 3 videos on it.
But if I'm right, I think I can get this.
Look at that! That's an engine, bro.
Running again with a couple of cheap parts. But if I'm wrong, I can.
Hold on. Because there's a certain part of it. It's like a Rex, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, the tiny range extender. It's a fucking hybrid, bro. Come on now. It's like a hybrid, but instead of it mostly being battery, or instead of mostly being engine, it's mostly battery. So it's kind of like a reverse hybrid.
Gasoline motor in the back. USA 2015.
Or an anti-hybrid? I don't know.
Guys, I checked out an earlier one years ago, and this is much nicer. The other one was all stripped down and beat up looking. I didn't like it. This is much nicer. It's got a much nicer interior, nicer seats, big old cup holder in the back.
Man, that's an old man interior right there.
So that's what we're gonna do. And I like crazy cars like Tesla's. Look, it's got everything here: AC, heat, regular buttons. You don't have to be a computer whiz. It's got turn signals.
Why is there so much red here?
The problem with these, it's warning them that the brake pads are thin. I checked their are thin, and he knows he needs to replace the brake pads. It does have 178,000 miles on it. It has a range extender code. We'll see what that code is.
That doesn't mean anything, dude.
Signal timer relative invalid transmitter. Well, let's tell them that something's wrong, but it worked perfectly fine. That's the thing. These are very complex things. You're going to get codes for minor things that don't affect the running of the car, and you're just going to ignore them. So for now, we'll just erase that code. Camera-based driver assistance system has a code. Let's see what that is. Well, the cameras are sure they're dirty, they need cleaning. That's typical if you've got one of these lane assist or everything. Make sure you clean around the lenses all the time. My advice is keep some Blindex lying around in your trunk, any kind of good cleaner, and a good microfiber towel. Clean them every once in a while. So let's look at some of the live data here. You can see over time, driving cycles counted with range extender. The range extender was used 13,082 times so far. So it is used a lot because he uses this to deliver stuff, and it's held up quite well. Check out the electronics further, and it shows that the driven kilometers with range.
All right, let's. I mean, it's just one car. I thought he was going to talk about multiple. The worst car brands only stupid people stupid people buy. So let's see. He's talks about, because he might talk about some like something I don't expect, because I saw Range Rover there. Yeah, Land Rover. This one is Land Rover. Apparently Land Rover Defender is good. Because it has Ford parts in it. Still talking about Range Rover. Range Rover, I think, is the unreliable one. Volkswagen. You know, I've been wondering about this for a while. How do the Germans pronounce Volkswagen? Let's see. Whoops. Don't do that. Let's do this here. Germans.
Volkswagen. Volkswagen.
Okay. Just had to know. It's a fun car to drive. Of course it is. That's the only reason people buy it. If it wasn't fun to drive, it would die off. Like it would be useless. Now Chrysler, I think it might be the one that it just does everything wrong. Good question.
They were competing against things like the Toyota Camry. The V6 Chrysler 200 was new. It was only about $2,000 cheaper than a V6 Toyota Camry. And if you compared the V6 200 to a four-cylinder Camry back in the day, the four-cylinder Camry was only $200 more than this car. Which leads me to wonder why anybody would
What?
buy one in the first place. You get the legendary Toyota reliability for $200 more with a four-cylinder and $2,000.
Back when the Camry was good? Are you kidding me?
Under the hood of this thing. It's calling their world engine. 3.6.
Well, at the time it wasn't hybrid.
I mean, six-cylinder engine. There it is. It's Fiat took over. Chrysler. There's a lot of Italian design going on in some.
The lane is super open for like a nice mid-size sedan. It's like way open because they're getting rid of the Altima as well. So Honda's got such a golden opportunity to make a really nice vehicle in the Accord. Hopefully they take advantage of that. I want more competition. Mexico.
They suckered a bunch of people in the beginning, but the last year they sold in the United States, 2017, they only sold about 18,000 of them. You can see the sales. Probably as people drove and the engine didn't work right, they saw they were typical Chrysler, poorly made junk, and they couldn't give the things away. So they stopped making them. When you're competing against greats like Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, it amazes me that they actually sold 700.
I actually drove one of these, and I was like, damn, like, what happened with this car? Like, why did it go away? That car is very boring to drive. I mean, like, the Camry is actually more fun to drive. Like, everybody's like, oh, the Camry's the most boring car ever made. Nah, bro. Nah, the Chrysler 300, that mess was a snoot. I barely could keep myself awake. And the salesperson that was, like, driving with me, He didn't really help either. He was completely silent. He didn't even say anything because he's pretty much a Spanish speaking person. But like that car was super boring to drive. Everything about that car was just lifeless. Honestly, it was one of the most disappointing test drives I've ever done. That's not even a joke, bro. No cap. I would rather drive a CVT than drive that. That's how boring it was. At least the CVT has some damn character. A proper clock? An analog clock? What? Okay, that's crazy, bro. That's gotta be aftermarket, right? Bro, they literally think they're Rolls Royce. What? Where's the screen? This is a weird configuration. This is probably an older model. How is there an analog clock in here? Oh man.
World design. I guess that's the way the world was going. Then the world is in horrible shape. That little sensor isn't big, but tighten under here, you got to take the whole top of the engine apart to get to it. Let's compare that to my '94 Celica. Now it is 19 years.
One of the problems with modern technology is that they love to make it so that the clocks are so small because if you think about it, it's actually pretty smart on their end to make the clocks very small. Because if they make the clocks very small, then, oh, well, you're not really keeping track of time. Now the time can escape you, and now you can just waste a bunch of time doing a bunch of useless garbage. So that's actually extremely smart for them to do in terms of like business, shrewd businessmen. But in terms of like customer experience, I really think one selling point that would probably appeal to me is if whatever you're selling has a really big clock on it that's very prominent. You know, make it. Don't fucking try to hide the time from me, okay? Show me the time. Show me, you know. I'm literally thinking of the first case in Phoenix, right? Oh, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. But yeah, anyway, bro, just like show me the time. Don't try and like bury it. You know, like I connect. I have like the regular infotainment system. It shows the clock, and then I have the fucking Android Auto, which just buries the time in like the bottom right corner of the fucking thing. It's like, come on. Show me the time properly. Don't fucking bury it. Like, these cars don't come with digital clocks anymore. It's so annoying, man. It really is. Like, how do I know that I'm... Why would you do that? Anyway, rant over, bro.
Older than that car. You can change the oil setting unit on this in 15 minutes, maybe 19 years older. It still has
It's just something to think about, bro. It's some food for thought.
Toyota quality versus Chrysler crap. Now, as you look under the car, you can see there's no oil dripping. It's not dangerous. If it was leaking, you could get low oil pressure. That's dangerous. If you actually had low oil pressure, of course, that would be...
You want to know something else? I think I'm actually going to set up that fucking alarm clock that my dad gave me. Hold up. I have an alarm clock somewhere. I have it somewhere. Yeah, right here? Yeah? I don't even know what brand this is. It's some Chinese shit from Amazon, but... It's got batteries in it. It's completely wireless. Can I turn it on? Let's see. Because here's the thing. I can use the clock without needing the alarm at all. Let's see. I don't know how to turn it on, y'all. I have no idea. The batteries are probably dead. I think I killed it by, like, not using it. Yeah, this battery seems like it's dead. What about this one? Yeah, that battery sounds dead, too. What about this one? They sound like they have a little bit of life left in them, but that first one sounded really bad. I don't know. We're gonna just we're gonna just try and revive this clock because I want to be able to know what the time is and not let time escape me. Because time is like the most valuable commodity we have in the modern world. Like, you think it's the data, but it's actually not. It's time.
Still, let's start it up here. It's not like the engine has rocked.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing.
It's not like the engine has rods knocking. If you actually lost oil pressure, the engine would sound
It's like it's...
This one sounds totally normal for one of these.
It's like it has contempt for you starting it.
So in this case, the only thing that's wrong is the warning system that warns you when the oil pressure has gone too low is broken. So you're gonna have to take this engine apart and spend hundreds of dollars replacing the warning device. Like I say, it's not making noise, it's not leaky, it's not like it's gonna be a problem for the time being, but the check engine light's gonna stay on. You can't get your car inspected if you live where cars inspected. So eventually you'd have to take the engine apart and replace the stupid little poorly made piece of metal and plastic so that the check engine light will go out. But luckily for the owner, this is Clarksville, Tennessee, they don't do that kind of inspection on a car, so he can just merrily drive along this way if he wants. He don't want to spend a bunch of money taking the engine apart to replace a stupid warning device that is broken. Let's check the OEM enhanced data. Well, it still just shows the stupid one for the oil pressure sensor circuit. So let's look at live data. We're seeing the short-term fuel trim from bank 1 that's subtracting 3.9%. And a short-term fuel trim on bank 2 is subtracting 0, minus 3.1, minus 3.5 on 1. So it's running a little bit uneven. It's subtracting more fuel on bank 1 than on bank 2. I can feel a little jiggle in the engine, but that's normal with these things. They aren't perfectly made after all.
Ugh.
They are made in Mexico. They don't hold up over time like a Toyota engine would. All right, let's do an all module scan. There you go. It's going through all the modules. As you can see, it goes through an awful lot of stuff. They did load these things with a lot of electronics. And if you know anything,
Wait,
it goes through
pause on that dash. See, these are like weird things that only an autistic person like me would care about. But the dash, y'all,
stuff. They did load
look at that. That's like completely analog. That's like a Mazda dash, but it's just like it's got no personality to it.
it's going through all the modules.
It's just cheap. It doesn't have like any class to it.
They did load
But I do like that digital display on the bottom right corner. Extremely basic, but very effective.
electronics. And if you know anything,
Okay, that's cruise control. Is there anything on the left side? Probably just volume.
they did load these things with a lot of
Yeah, this is pretty basic.
electronics. And if you know anything about Chryslers, if they edge their electronics tend to go bonkers.
It doesn't even have volume control. It's very, very basic. Very bare bones. I don't know what year this was. I think he said it was like 2016.
16.5E, which is the parking lamp control circuit is open. On these electronic monstrosities, even the parking lights are controlled by computers. But in the case of this one, we turned it on, checked them all, they're all working.
This is an older one.
It's another thing you live with when you have a Chrysler that's starting to age. I just said they're nice looking cars, they got nice looking interiors and everything. Chrysler was always formed
19 years older. So it's like a 2014.
As my grandfather always said,
2013, 2014.
mechanic too, Chryslers, good-looking cars, but they just don't hold up
Yeah.
over time. And really,
They are good-looking cars, actually.
Mercedes-Benz bought them, and then sold them, and then Fiat bought them, and then Peugeot mixed it all together and calls it Stellantis. As far as I'm concerned, time goes on with Chrysler, quality goes down. And this V6 Pentastar World
Pretty much.
Mexico,
Chrysler is dead now.
put all the plastic crap on it.
All they have is
Fender's now broken.
maybe taxis.
Hard to replace.
But if you're a taxi driver, why wouldn't you get a Sienna?
Cars, they're nice looking cars. They got style, there's no arguing with that. But in the case of these Chrysler 200s, ultimately, function won over form. They went from selling 170-something thousand to only selling 17,000 the last year. They don't sell them at all anymore.
If they had no taxis, the Sienna would literally corner the market on minivans.
I believe with M&M is riding down Detroit, and they're bragging about, oh, it's American made, blah, blah, American.
Yeah, the Odyssey would exist, but the point is that Chrysler would die off completely. It would just be a duopoly.
Is made, or I should say, assembled in Michigan. This engine came from Mexico, but the vehicle was assembled in Michigan. But the 300s at the time were all made in Canada. So they decided, well, we'll show the 200, which is kind of a mistake, because the 300s were at least fast and zippy, and they could hold up a little, but the 200s, whew, they just failed miserably. So I guess I put the beauty cover back on there. I know what a stupid idea that is. The beauty cover serves no purpose other than to hide the engine.
Bro, that's like the cheapest beauty cover ever. One of the cheapest ones I've ever seen. And how is that a V6 and it's not fast? Come on, guys.
Most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It looks like something Homer Simpson would have made for a truck that he wanted, right? Now, it doesn't really look like a truck.
Play the clip.
Believe it or not, it's got
Fucking
the
coward.
Rolodex thing on the back. If you're not old enough to know what a Rolodex is, people have information on cars and a Rolodex. So, as
Scotty, you're lazy and a coward.
see, indeed, it is sort of a pickup. And the weird
Alright, I don't care about the Cybertruck. Let's see. People say I'm full of crap about BMWs. We'll watch this. Do I really want to? No, I don't. I'm leaving. Here's what happened after my house burned down. Here's why the Mitsubishi Evo is the best car ever made. Alright, let's see. Because it's reliable, right, Scotty? Look, he went back to his old intro. And then he tried doing the other intro back again. It's really weird.
Evolution 4. It's made in Japan. They're all made in Japan, right? Do I notice the driver's seat's a little bit different than the passenger seat? This is made for zooming around. See, right-hand drive. The passenger seat. This is made for zooming around. See, right-hand drive car. That's where they drive in Japan.
What?
Weird thing, you know. The British didn't conquer Japan, but they built the railroad systems, I guess, there. So they drive on the right-hand side. It's a very popular car in the United States. This one was imported from Japan because back in the day you couldn't get them in the United States. And this thing is 29 years old. It's almost 30 years old. So what kind of shape is it in? Well, you might be surprised. The main reason of existence...
Now that I think about it, it's kind of surprising considering the configuration of older cars having bench seats in the front.
There's the turbocharger on it.
The fact that they had the drivers on the left hand instead of having them in the middle, which they absolutely could have done.
Is a lot, but this Generation 4 is popular amongst a lot of people.
I think the real thing is that they were rear-wheel drive at the time, so you kind of had to have the shifter in the middle, and you can't really have the shifter and the steering wheel in the same spot.
They were sleeved down, got cast iron sleeves on them, so they didn't really have any problems unless some fool decides to get 800 horsepower out of them, and then of course things tend to blow up. But they're very solid engines that these things were built around for zooming around in Japan. About zooming around in Japan, well, yes, this is a right-hand drive with a left-hand shift. Okay, it was imported in
Brother,
the States, but it's not like you can't get parts.
left-hand shift.
A lot of parts are interchangeable with Mitsubishi models, doors.
That's gonna be a trip.
It's not like you got a one-off, and what are you going to do when the thing breaks? No. And there are tons of aftermarket tuning things you can have done. For instance, you had this swapped out to coil-on plug. It only cost about $400. Now, there are so many people after the Fast and Furious that want these things that tune them. You can do radical tunes, or you can do more minor tunes like this. You can basically do all kinds of things. And believe you, the engine could take it. They're solid built engine.
I have to tell you these before I retire in like 25 years because I'm never gonna die.
Today I'm gonna show you how you can.
I have some respect for Scotty. He's old as shit, but he keeps going and going and going.
Now in the case of my wife's Lexus here, she came home the other day, said, "Hey, it's idling weird, kind of shaky, right?" Check engine light was on. It showed the codes for misfire on cylinder number 1, 3, and 5, which in this case are the back 3 cylinders. Now, if you don't know where they are, you can just look it up. Firing order, Lexus 2002 S300. 1, 3, and 5 are the back cylinders. So, not the front 3, but the back 3. And as an added bonus, to figure out what's wrong, when it was really cold.
What the hell is this? Hold up. Where's my mouse? What the fuck is this?
When these PCV valves, brand new one.
Bro, I'm watching this.
Well, that tells me a lot because look in here. There's the PCV.
Okay, it's probably an AI generated video.
Spotted something so bizarre, so utterly ridiculous that you wondered if the designers were having a laugh. Well, buckle up, because today we're counting down 25 of the dumbest old car prototypes that should have never existed.
Wait, is he accelerating but is not moving?
These are monuments to human ambition gone spectacularly wrong. From nuclear-powered death traps to cars that literally could spectacularly wrong. From nuclear-powered death trap
The Nucleon?
to cars that literally couldn't fit a human being, these prototypes prove that just because
Yeah.
you can build something doesn't mean you should.
Why is there 2 BMW logos on it? It's almost like they're super proud of it.
We're just ahead of common sense. So before we dive into this automotive freak show, hit that like button and subscribe for more.
What the fuck?
Number 24, the Atoll Design Formula 4. 1996 was a strange year for car design, and nothing proves that more than the Alderson It'll Design Formula 4. This was supposed to be an affordable sports car for young drivers. What it became was a confused mess that couldn't decide what it wanted to be. The Formula 4 looked like 3 different designers worked on it, and they never spoke to each other. The front looked like a budget Ferrari. The middle looked like a go-kart. The rear looked like someone forgot to finish it. The whole thing was a study in design schizophrenia. It'll Design claimed it would democratize sports car ownership, make high performance accessible to everyone, give young drivers their dream car at an affordable price. Noble goals, terrible execution. The prototype had a tiny engine that promised sporty performance, but
Yeah, it's not a looker, but I got to admit it is a very interesting design.
The steering wheel was positioned at an angle that made your wrists hurt just looking at it. But the real problem was the identity crisis.
Oh god, if it gives you physical pain, that's not good.
The steering wheel was positioned at an angle that made your wrists hurt just looking at it. But the real problem was the identity crisis. It wasn't fast enough to be a sports car. It wasn't practical enough to be a daily driver. It wasn't cheap enough to be affordable. It wasn't expensive enough to be exclusive. It was automotive purgatory. The Formula 4 appeared at a few auto shows where journalists struggled to find nice things to say about it. Most settled on interesting, which in car journalism speak means what were they thinking. The concept died without ever reaching production. It'll Design moved on to other projects. The Formula 4 became a footnote in automotive history, a reminder that not every gap in the market needs filling, especially when you're filling it with something nobody asked for. Number 23, the Heuliez. Pregunta, take a Lamborghini Diablo. Now give it to French coach builder Heuliez and tell them to make it different. The result? The 1998 Heuliez Pregunta. A car that answered a question nobody was asking. The Pregunta started life as a perfectly good Diablo.
Man, that car looks weird. Mostly the headlights.
They added bumps and bulges in places that made no sense. The final result looked like a Lamborghini that had been left in the sun too long and started melting. The proportions were all wrong. The famous Lamborghini wedge shape was there, but distorted. Like looking at a supercar in a funhouse mirror. The doors still went up, but now they looked awkward doing it. Made the car look like it was permanently doing a wheelie. Heuliez claimed they were exploring new directions.
Bro, it looks like you could fit a sidecar on those fenders.
The new millennium, pushing boundaries, breaking conventions. What they were really doing was taking something beautiful and making it ugly. The interior was even worse. They tried to add luxury touches.
At least the wheels look good.
A race car cabin, plush carpets that didn't fit, wood trim that looked glued on, seats that were neither comfortable nor sporty. It was like putting a tuxedo on a wrestler. The Pregunta was shown at the 1998 Geneva Motor Show. Reactions were
honestly pretty accurate.
People walked around it slowly, trying to understand what they were looking at, trying to find an angle where it looked good. They're still looking. Only one was ever made. It occasionally appears at classic car shows where it serves as a warning. Just because you can modify a supercar doesn't mean you should. Some things are better left alone. Number 22, the Toyota Pod. 2001 was the future, and Toyota thought the future needed cars with feelings. Enter the Toyota Pod, a concept
cars with feelings
that could express
what?
Yes, moods. The Pod didn't just look weird. It acted
What are you talking about? What? No.
Red for angry, orange for excited.
No, dude. No.
Red for angry, orange for excited, blue for sad. It was like driving a giant Tamagotchi. Toyota's engineers programmed the pod to
come on, man. That's awesome.
Drive aggressively, the pod would turn red and act upset. Drive smoothly, it would glow orange and wag its tail. Park it, it would turn blue and look sad that you were leaving. It was simultaneously fascinating and deeply unsettling. The interior was just as bizarre.
Nah, bro, that's awesome. Give me that car now.
From a video game. The seats swiveled so you could have face-to-face was that passengers faced forward. But here's the thing about cars with emotions. Nobody
Okay, that's pretty
the car
weird.
doesn't need to be happy to see you. It needs to start when you turn the key. It doesn't need to express sadness when you park.
But it's Toyota. It's gonna start.
Leak oil. The pod
It's fine, man.
through crowds of confused onlookers.
Yes. Oh my God, these people. Yo, early 2000s. What is wrong with you?
Toyota insisted this was the future of personal transportation.
I want my car to feel just like me.
Their owners, vehicles that cared. The public disagreed. The pod never made it past the concept stage.
Now, if it was made today, no. No, I would not buy this.
Cars that just drove places without having feelings about it. Number
But if I had money back in the day, I would buy that.
2005.
No question about it.
City driving and decided the problem was that cars faced forward. Their solution, the Pivo, a car with a cabin that could rotate 360 degrees.
Okay, what was the issue?
Number 21, the Nissan Pivo, 2005. Nissan looked at city driving and decided the problem was that cars faced forward. Their solution, the Pivo, a car with a cabin that could rotate 360 degrees because nothing says safe urban
What?
transport like spinning in circles while driving. The Pivo was small, really small, so small that it made a smart car look spacious. But that wasn't the weird part. The weird part was that the entire passenger compartment could rotate independently of the wheels. Parallel parking? Just spin the cabin and drive sideways. Nah, just rotate and go. But wait, it gets weirder. Instead of a steering wheel, the Pivo had a joystick, like you were playing an arcade game. And instead of mirrors, cameras everywhere. The whole car was basically a surveillance system on wheels. Oh, and it had a robot companion, a little head that popped up from the dashboard to talk to you, give you directions, tell you about
Oh, hell nah.
your life choices. Because if there's one thing drivers need, it's a judgmental robot watching them. The people
No, 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 no.
But with a range of about 60 miles and a top speed of, well, let's just say you
I
won't
don't-
win any races.
I ain't finna sign this contract.
Very
No.
expensive golf cart with delusions of grandeur. Nissan showed the Pivo at the
I won't sign off on that.
where it was a hit. People loved the novelty, the rotating cabin, the friendly robot, the futuristic design.
Parallel parking like that is hella convenient, though. It is very small, so it would be pretty easy to parallel park anyway.
And unnecessary and probably
But
illegal in some places. The Pivo remained
it's
one
so
of the
funny how
best
you could just
versions each
turn the wheels
time.
left and they would
None
just
ever
go
reached
left.
production. Turns out
And you
people
could just use a
prefer cars
joystick.
in the direction they're driving. Who knew? Number 20, the Autobianchi,
Yeah, who knew?
a 112 runabout, 1969. Bertone looked at the tiny Autobianchi, a 112, and thought, you know what this economy car needs to be a mid-engine sports car? The result is the runabout.
I find it really funny that that Cyber CPU made a video saying, "Oh man, you have a steering wheel in your car. Imagine if someone replaced it with a yoke," and then Tesla actually did it. That's really funny to me.
And it was exactly as practical as it sounds. The runabout took everything sensible about the A112 and threw it away. Gone was the rear seat. Gone was the cargo space. Gone.
All right, this seems pretty interesting, but let's just get through this real quick.
Way back inside. There it is with the hose. And where does the hose go to? It goes to the intake manifold part that feeds cylinders 1, 3, and 5. So, the stupid valve is leaking air, sucking too much air. That will make all 3 cylinders, 1, 3, and 5, run too lean and trip the code and make it, especially at idle, get a little shaky. Now, the front 3 cylinders, they're fed air by different part of the manifold. So it doesn't affect them that much, but it does affect the back 3. So in this case, we're going to replace the PCV valve. Particular one is screwed in, it's 19. It's wanting you to get out. Now you
Wanting you to get out.
react. It's not going to hurt anything. And that's it. There's the PCV valve. Lexus 2002 F.
Okay, so simple scan tool, check the codes. Sorry, I'm just a little bit lost here. Positive crankcase ventilation. It rattles, they break down inside. PCV valve, way back inside. The hose, where does it go to? The intake, manifold. Feed cylinders 1, 3, and 5. Supit valve is leaking air, sucking too much air. That'll make 3 cylinders. Valves 1, 3, and 5 run too lean and tripped up the code and make it shake, especially at idle. The front 3, they're fed air by a different part of the manifold, so it doesn't affect them that much, but it does affect the back 3. Okay. I don't care about that because I have an i4, but moving on. It's loose, pry it off, pop the rubber off, we'll break it loose with the 19mm wrench, been there a long time. Get a big hammer.
Well, if you first don't succeed, get a big hammer. There we go. Starting to move. It's going to take a while, but at least it's coming loose now. Of course, the original one's never been taken off. We should put them on tight. You can see it's all carboned up. Here's your new one. Right back in. Hard to see. It's awful dark in there, so I'll try the backhanded way. Not much working room, that's for sure. There we go. It's threading in. Nice and tight. The 19mm. A lot of turning to get it tight. Then we'll put the hose and clamp back on. Just slides on. Do it. Take it for a spin. See what happens. Hey, that's nothing. Start her up. Put her gear. Turn the lights out because I turned it off with the scan tool. Idle as smooth as can be. Let's take it for a spin. So we'll roll the window down. Smooth. Honking noise is gone.
What did he do exactly? Did he adjust it? I'm so confused. Oh, he replaced it? Okay, he replaced the PCV, 19mm pliers, squeeze the clamp, pry it off, pop the rubber off, break it loose. It's stuck, get a big hammer, additional one, sorry, but take it off. Carboned up, put a new one, awful dark in there. Slides on, take it for a spin, start it up.
And hopefully the misfires will be gone too. Take it out to the back of the road, climbing up
PCV valve.
We'll see what it does. A little drag strip. We'll look behind us. Nobody's behind us. So.
Drag strip of the Lexus.
Woohoo! Nice and smooth. We'll downshift it a little. Upshift it. Nice and smooth. So there you have it. Fix the car.
Alright, there we go.
Simple basic scan tool and a PCV valve. Hey, the thing's 24 years old, so I guess it's going to break down at some time. And it was.
So he used a scan tool to figure it out?
But the back. Just look it up, firing order, electric. Hey, it's idling weird. Kind of shaky, right? Check engine.
It's a weird idle.
Showed the codes for misfire on cylinder number 1, 3, and 5, which in this case are the back 3 cylinders. Now, if you don't know where they are, you can just look it up. Firing order, Lexus 2002.
Sometimes you gotta work backwards to figure things out.
The back cylinders. So, not the front 3, but the
Alright, the back 3 cylinders.
And as an added bonus to figure out what's wrong, when it was really cold, the snow's melting now, but it was really cold, it would honk like a goose, right? So, honking like a goose. Now, a lot of times, when these PCV valves, positive crankcase ventilation, go bad, this is a brand new one, here it rattles, they'll break down inside, pass through a honk like a goose. Well,
what? No. No.
they'll break down inside,
No. 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 No.
like a goose. Well, that tells me a lot because look in here, there's the PCV valve, way back inside. There it is with the hose.
So you're telling me that when a PCV valve goes bad, it'll cause a honking sound? And it'll shake at idle, I guess? Because of a misfire? The valve is leaking air, sucking too much air. That'll make the cylinders run lean and trip the code and get a little shaky at idle. Alrighty. I'm just going to take that at face value. I mean, what else can you do? That's crazy that it makes a honking sound. But we're just going to move on to the second tip. I still have a lot of I still have a lot like to figure out with the what's it called, the air fuel ratio sorts of diagnosis. Let's say your car really stinks inside. Okay, I'm gonna skip that because I don't care about that. My nose is essentially a what do they call that stuff with the courses? My nose is like self-paced. It just goes when it feels like it. As long as it doesn't feel like it, I won't even smell it. I mean, I might, but it won't be that strong. Just plug in a power supply.
In your car, as long as you do it like this. You plug it into pop.
Okay, I don't care about smells, I'm sorry. I just don't care. It'll kill ants and mosquitoes. Cockroaches in a car because a kid left crumbs everywhere. Next thing, there were dead cockroaches in there. It works good. Okay. $50. Okay. I guess if you want to get rid of the bugs, you can do that. Is that it? It's not a third mechanic secret, guys? Fix it yourself, keep it smelling good. That's it, dude? Are you kidding me? Those 2 secrets. What? You said there was gonna be a third one. Hello? Am I missing something? I wanted to hear that car honk like a goose. Me too. What does it sound like? Huh? 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 Is that what it sounds like? Scotty! I replaced my PCB valve for 40,000. Yeah, that's excessive. I don't know what the actual interval is, but I don't think it's 40K. I think you can keep that for at least 60,000. What am I even talking about? I literally don't even know like the basic intervals. What? Some of these people are fucking old. Yeah, I don't know. It says 3, but he only has 2 secrets. I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
Fun with any.
Alright. Trump just made this illegal, the regular gas. Okay. I know. Toyota.
Rev up your engine. If you want a kind of luxurious car, you don't want to pay much. I just bought this 2006 Lexus IS 250 for a mere $3,000. Okay?
You bought it?
Did you make a mistake?
Oh no, he bought it.
Well,
Stop
we're
it.
gonna find out, see if you'd wanna
Scotty
buy
never
one of
buys
the
new
first
cars.
ones first. Jay, this thing was made in Japan, and that's the biggest check mark of all. They do make them better in Japan. It's a 2006. It was one of the early models of the 2nd generation. They're in the 3rd generation now. And when we open the hood, we'll show you something. The good and the bad. It's got a V6 engine, FSE. But the downside is this is the early direct fuel injection system. We're going to check this out for sure. And if you are thinking about buying one of these, the first thing you want to check, absolute numero uno, is it's carboned up inside. Because some of the early ones, a lot of because people didn't change the oil enough, they carbon up on the valves. Because rather than having the modern Toyota fuel system that has direct injectors that spray into the engine block, and port fuel injectors that spray over the valves to clean them. These weren't the dual system, they're just GDI. And if you're a slob and you don't change your oil, PCV system will throw carbon, clog up the valves, run like crap, and then you got to get it cleaned. And if somebody really didn't take care of it, you got to pull the intake manifolds off, and you got to blast the valves with walnuts. Now, it might sound crazy. It's a sandblasting machine, but instead of putting sand, which would eat the metal up, you use walnuts, which doesn't eat up the metal, but it gets rid of the carbon. It's a gigantic pain in the butt. I gotta say, so far, this thing certainly has held up quite well, because we start her up.
Is that red? Oh shit.
306,000 miles on it. Now, the wood's still in pretty good shape. Of course, the dash.
That is loud for a
sticky
Lexus.
dash isn't it, dude? This has a sticky dash. That's why they put this on top of it. And yeah, somebody had gigantic elbows here, and they wore this one off. Got a little wear, but not much. But the leather seats has held up pretty well. Sunroof still works. And it has a very dependable 6-speed automatic transmission.
Hell yeah.
If you want. And for an old car 20 years old, hey, it's got a map, boys. Destination menu, pretty snazzy, right? CD player, because it's an older car. And it is all-wheel drive, you're not going to get stuck. And it's got fancy aftermarket wheels. Somebody wanted to snazz it up. Automatic stuff, you can see older Toyotas and Lexuses. Be interesting. It's got the rubber, right? And the rubber's starting to rot.
Those seem like very popular rims.
Which makes me wonder. It's chrome underneath. What
I see those rims multiple times.
I don't know. You know, it'd be one thing if it was ugly underneath. It looks better underneath than on the top. But they all do that when they age. I mean, the sun gets to them. Now, this car is registered in Tennessee, and that's a big plus. Because the check engine light's on. If you're in a place that does emissions inspection, it wouldn't pass. You'd probably have to spend a small fortune. But many states are getting rid of them. There's actually in our states now, there's more states out that don't have emissions inspection than do. So, hopefully other people will wise up too. But we're going to see what the code is. And a lot of times, it's stuff that you're just going to live with. Like my wife's Lexus. The light's been on for over a year now for the revap leak. The stupid canister's leaking, and you got to drop the gas tank. It's a big pain in the butt. What do I care? If I don't want the light, I put my can tool on, turn it off, it comes back later, I'll turn it off, it bothers me, no big deal, right? But if you do live in a state that does emissions testing, never, ever buy one of these cars if it's got serious codes on it, because something like the catalytic converter could be inefficient, right? It's got 300,000 miles, but it's very expensive to replace it. But they can still run perfectly fine if they're a little bit inefficient. But if you live where you got to replace them, whew, you're going to spend more money than you pay for the whole car. It has a beauty cover on it.
It's fucking ridiculous.
And you can see even
The cat efficiency below threshold is one of the biggest scams that these emissions people have ever made.
On these cars. And as you see the front, okay, it's solid. This is a strong V6.
I get having the code, but why do they have to turn the check engine light on? Why couldn't they just make that a pending code?
Belt's breaking, it's got a chain, and yeah, you're gonna see as they age, they stretch. I know.
And then make it a permanent code if it's like 80%. Like why couldn't they just do that?
When I started it, I could hear the little tiny bit of rattle, but it immediately went away because once you start it up,
Does that like affect the measurements or something? Or like why do they do that?
Takes the slack on.
It's just a scam.
So, you know,
It's just to make
when you start them up, you don't really have to worry.
make you either buy a new car or
Yeah, then it's time for a timing chain. That's really expensive, but
squeeze you down to make you
sounds and runs pretty good.
have less money to work with,
You see what shape this 300,000 mile plus
fucking up the economy even more than it already is.
It's a 20-year-old car. Chaos ignition, I'm not a fan, but they work pretty good. I rarely see them breaking these.
Honestly, driving in Florida is not nearly as annoying as it is in other places in regards to maintenance.
It's old, so here we go. While it's doing the scan, we'll look around.
No
Other than the
inspections.
sticky dash, these are notorious for.
And
Sticky dashes, no one knows why, but they did. The rest of it's still in pretty good shape.
and no rust.
Stereo system has heated and air conditioning front seats too. Amazing. Even his old seats are air conditioned. No, he said he's had coach running lean for a while. He keeps resetting them, but he keeps coming back.
The drivers suck.
And we'll start her up.
So
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's got 9 codes. The main ones are the ECM, because he said it was always doing running lean. So we're going to check those out. And here they are. System 2 lean, bank 1, bank 2.
That's about it.
It's all system running 2 lean. Now he's already tried Bernie's cleaner, and it didn't make much difference. Now the thing is, this is a GDI system, extremely high pressure. And a lot of times it's 300-something thousand miles. That high pressure pump.
That's pretty rare for Toyota to have a pure GDI system.
Here, we'll enter the system. The anti-lock brakes, slide data. And what's the code? EV control system malfunction. Well, that's pretty generic, right? C1201. Now, this is a fascinating code. It's a secondary code.
Every time with the arm waving.
If the engine isn't running right, you'll often get this code, and guess what? It often trips if there's a air-fuel ratio problems running lean. So that's the underlying cause of this. It's their one problem is causing these other codes. It often happens. There's 2 AC codes. We'll take a look at that. We'll enter the system, see what the codes are for the AC, and that just codes for the stupid sensors that measure the temperature.
I don't know why dude keeps like making sad days for his viewers. I really don't. Why can't we have happy days for Scotty Kilmer viewers?
Okay, today I'm going to talk about used luxury vehicles. This is a 2019 Genesis G80. They're top of the line. 5 years.
Like, what am I supposed to expect when you make a video called Sad Day for Scotty Kilmer viewers? I get it, he's dying, but like, what is the video actually about? Like, this is just bait, bro. This is just bait for comments. We're in the camshafts. I don't care. Okay.
Which is all he cares about. So just for kicks, we'll erase all the codes, see which ones come back. The AC code immediately comes back because there's a problem in that sensor system. Who cares, right? The other ones went away, so they're not super hard shorts or anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to start.
Where is dude's mechanic videos? Come on, guys.
Codes. We go to ECM. Look at live data and see what's happening inside. All right, Black, it's good. Start looking at some information here. It's good so far. You can see the short-term fuel.
This is fucking old.
It is adding 19 to 20%. It is running lean. Now the long-term.
As a carburetor, that means it's pretty much a dinosaur.
Almost half. So, and the bank 2 is running leaner long-term.
I may not know that much about
So, odds are this baby has
cars, but I do know if it's carbureted, it is super duper old.
Low speed is spinning slower. A little air leak affects the air-fuel ratio more, making it run lean. The faster you go, the more fuel's being sprayed in, and the less lean. So the short term.
Let me see this.
You see, our car can come from old age. You know, I mean, that's going to happen. Sorry to put these seat covers on. But when we go inside,
Might as well.
close the door and listen. And as you can
God
see,
damn, what the fuck?
They have no insulation whatsoever, but they have a real key, right? A real key that goes into a real ignition switch, and we'll start her up. Starts right up. Simple.
Nice.
4-speed transmission, a real handbrake. But I notice it's not really connected anymore. It's too loose, so that's broken.
So why is it the worst Toyota again? Because it looks pretty good to me.
A temperature gauge, a gas gauge, and a speedometer, and as you can see, it's got 220,236 miles on it.
Let me see that display.
Gauge, a gas gauge, and a speedometer, and as you can see.
Oh, I think that's just a sign. That's not actually a display. Yeah, it's not. It's not. This is Toyota we're talking about.
Oh, the horn doesn't blow anymore. Oh, a failed Toyota product. The horn is not blowing.
What the
Well,
fuck?
they work. This is the fancy version. It actually came with the stereo. He added those speakers, but it had speakers here. And air conditioning. Yes, it really had air conditioning. There's the air conditioning button. But like I said, he took the belt off because it strains the engine too much. Those who don't know what this is, These are hand crank windows. You crank them.
Oh, I know what those are.
They don't break.
My aunt's car used to have them.
Lucky enough back in the day to be forced in the back seat.
She had like a 99 Corolla.
Legs, right?
Super basic car.
But it's still good transportation for the guy. It gets him where he's going.
I actually hated that car.
You can still get parts for it.
Nowadays, I realize how stupid I was.
Things like that because they don't inspect for that kind of stuff. Now, if you were in California, you'd have kind of a stinker because that carburetor doesn't meet the California emission standards, right? But who cares? This is Tennessee, and they run perfectly fine. They're very good carburetors. Now, you did pay 2/3 of the price of the car for the
God,
carburetor.
Tennessee.
But then again, he paid $300.
Gonna be the new Florida.
For the carburetor cap.
All the crappy drivers in Florida are gonna go to Tennessee.
Bigger batteries in cars, so check it out. The battery's half the size of the motor. Just overall, you can see how simple the car is. There's the clutch save cylinder, right? There's the slave cylinder right there. You can change it out in 5 minutes. Even has power brakes. My first car didn't even have power brakes. So it doesn't have power steering, but it's a small car. Parallel parking, you might get a little bit of an exercise, but then again, it's a small car. It isn't that hard to parallel park. Just to prove you how slow this thing can be, we're going to have 3 people in it, which will slow it down considerably. And here we go. And I'll bet the heater still works.
Oh, I want to see this.
Camera, that's for sure. It does have side view mirrors, though. And they're not electric, so look, they still work. Now listen, all that mileage, and I don't even hear any bearings humming. The tranny's quiet, the wheel bearings are quiet. On Tobacco Road to the infamous drag strip, we'll see how fast or how slow this thing will go with 3 grown men in it. Well, here we go. We're gonna go and see how fast this thing can go. Here we go. We're off. Off, that engine's revving. Oh, we're flying. We're going 45 miles an hour now. Whee! But seriously, hey, it's still smooth. It's stable, and everything sounds great. Tranny's still nice and quiet. Realize, this thing was made in Japan, and it was the first
I like that engine.
all-wheel drive car that Toyota ever made. And I gotta say, they did a darn good job.
That's a nice sounding engine.
20,000 miles, and it still runs pretty good. And that was with 3 grown men in it. If it was just him in, it has a lot more zip, right? Take a few hundred pounds off, makes a big difference. A little bitty car like this. Power
The Toyota Tercel. I always wondered what the fuck that car was.
It is a very good transportation car to get you from here to there with 47 miles a gallon on a highway. You can't argue that. And it still handles perfectly fine. Now, hey.
Okay.
Let's just say, even Toyota doesn't make them like they used to. Something this solid still runs pretty good. And it can still even climb hills with 3 people in it. So there you have it. The first front-wheel drive car that Toyota ever built. And man, they built those things solid. Yeah, people made fun of it, mainly because the automatic transmissions were so slow. And back in the day, it isn't as bad as today. Today, like 96% of Americans only drive automatic cars. Back in the days, more people drove
That's a
standard.
manual.
The people that had the standard versions of
So it works fine.
they liked them. They got
Automatic
what
is
they
garbage,
wanted.
though,
They got
apparently.
great gas mileage. They could run forever, and if it finally did break, the parts are so easy to get to because there's so much working room on them. But they didn't need much work in them all because they're Toyotas. So you think of the Lexus when they made the Lexus 400. That was the first luxury car Toyota made, and it was a gigantic hit. It outsold Mercedes, Audi, and BMW all told the second year they sold them. That's how popular they got. And they almost sold.
All right. Toyota Tercel.
Is going to be much higher than the long-term fuel term. It's got to have some kind of vacuum leak.
Yeah, fucking Toyota Tercel any day.
Running too lean. It's adding extra fuel.
Rather than an SUV.
Overall, it's not bad. 1.01, right? I mean,
What the fuck is this?
Working with its adjustments. The car's not running bad. We'll see if there's any real bad red data. And
Okay, bro, this message. What the hell even am I looking at?
Not really. Here's the problem. You got a plastic intake manifold, right? On top of a cast aluminum head. Plastic expands and contracts with the heat and the cold at a much different rate than an aluminum head does. And that motion, only it's a few thousandths of an inch, I'm exaggerating, will cause the gasket to leak. So, we'll spray a little WD-40 and see if anything happens.
Now he's making AI videos.
Right there. I can feel the RPMs change a little. They're just starting to go. And really, I've actually fixed some of these older ones. The customer wanted them fixed.
Why is he not waving his arms in these videos?
Emission testing, and their gas mileage went down. Because if you're running lean, you're using less fuel, right? Sucking more air in. And he's getting 25 miles a gallon on this thing on a highway, which is what they're normally going to get. So I'd just say, leave it alone. Unless you live someplace where you have to, then you're going to have to take the top of the engine apart.
I mean, if he's just going to be doing AI stuff, it's not going to be really as interesting.
The intake manifold gasket and pray that the plastic doesn't break when you take it apart, because it's got 300,000 miles, and it might snap. Or when you put it back together, then you gotta buy an intake manifold, then the rats take over. You know, one giant rat's nest. So, we'll take it for a spin and see how it goes. Road test. It's an old car, but it's still got a backup camera. Check it out. Sidling quite smooth. And here we go. We'll see how she shifts. You barely even feel it shifting. We're already in third gear. You can tell when it shifts, though. You can see the number, see? Smooth cornering. I can hear the beginning of wheel bearings. You hear that? It does have 300,000 miles. It's got the original wheel bearings, so you know. Eventually they'll start wearing out. We'll see what happens when we turn.
2026 Camry broken. I'm pissed. Don't buy this engine. This engine oil destroyed my car. I guess it's worthwhile to know what engine oil to avoid.
Got a little controversial video. I'm going to tell you about modern engine oils, what you really need to know. Some of it is extremely controversial. Now, this new 2026 Camry says to use 0W8 oil. It's a very thin oil, and it's a new type of oil called GF7. A few years back,
I don't use that oil, so I don't care.
Oil. Well, the GF7 oil is even better than the GF6 oil. Of course, it costs more, but I mean, compared to the cost of an engine, it's painful. Yet when I look up the specifications for a 2026 Camry in Europe, it says to use 0W20 oil. Now, like you, I want my vehicle to run as long as possible. And I want hundreds of thousands of miles, decade. On my other cars I have to say the past oil suggestions that Toyota gave, which were pretty much the same everywhere, worked out fine. For example, this Tacoma says to use 0W20. Turn it upside down right so you can see. There you go. 0W20. I've seen these Toyota engines with 0W20 run hundreds of thousands of miles. No problems, didn't burn oil. So it obviously works, with the exception of when Toyota came out with their V6 twin turbos for the Tundra, got rid of the V8, put in the V6 twin turbos. They have all those engine problems, right? They got to replace 100,000 engines. But truthfully, in my own opinion, I don't think it was the oil that did it, because they ran 0W20 for a while in lots of vehicles. I personally think that's an engine design problem. Toyota doesn't want to talk about it, and they're just blaming it on dirt when they produced them, didn't get all the metal fragments out, whatever. I don't know. I got kind of on the fence with that. But I don't blame it on the oil itself. And I've used 5W30 and older Toyotas, 250, 300, 400,000 miles, no problems at all. But I got a real question about this 0W8 oil. 24 to 26, a bunch of their hybrids are suggesting you use this, right? And why are they? Well, they say 0W8 preferred. 0W16 allowed. And why? Because it optimizes fuel economy and EPA certification needs. The European market says 0W20 because it meets European test procedures and durability targets. So the Europeans are more worried about the engine lasting longer, but the Americans are worried about EPA certification. Gas mileage ratings, right? Now, granted, if you did put a 0W16 or 0W20 oil, it's slightly heavier, so it would get a little bit worse.
The EPA's went too far.
There's a few modern engines out there that use electronic oil pumps, and those companies specify real lightweight oil, like 0W8 or 0W16, because they're electric pumps. They're worried about the pumps not being able to hold up long enough, spinning a thicker oil, but these Toyotas have regular mechanical oil pump. The V6 that's in the Tundra, this 2.5 liter Atkinson cycle, it has an oil pump that runs mechanically off the engine. So there's no reason for ultralight oil for that because it's the plain old mechanical oil pump that'll pump whatever's in it. Now you might be aware of the GM 6.2 liter problem where they made millions of engines that they said use 0W20, they're all blowing up and having problems, and now their solution is, oh, we'll change it with a 0W40 or heavier oil, right? Well, of course, that isn't going to fix the underlying problem. If your engine already has wear, it isn't going to fix the wear, it's only going to mask it with a little bit thicker oil. The damage has already been done. Now, of course, that was GM, not the greatest makers of vehicles to begin with, right? Because Toyota's been using 0W20 weight for a really long time. I've seen engines 400,000 to 500,000 miles, still running fine. That is a proven oil that actually works. Hence, the European version of this car, the same 2.5 liter Atkinson.
That's the one I'm using, 0W20.
0W20, because the Europeans, their testing has to do with durability. They obviously do. It's going to last longer. So you got the same vehicle. One set uses super lightweight.
Which is what you should do.
Use 0W20, and to make things even more confusing, well, you can use
Less waste. Overall, I think it's more important than whatever crap fucking gas mileage benefits you would get with the 0W8 oil.
With 0W8 oil is, there's no proof in the pudding. It hasn't been out long enough to see how it actually lasts over time. They're making things totally confusing, and it all has to do with EPA certification and gas mileage ratings. That's kind of obvious. Go to a 0W8 oil to get those results when it's tested.
Alright, fuck this video. We're gonna watch this one.
Simple maintenance things you can do yourself. When you do have a problem,
This is gonna be the last one for the night.
First, because it's often a simple thing that causes a problem, so you can avoid going to either a super expensive mechanic or just a plain crooked one who's there to rip you off. Now let's start with the engine. As you can see, everything is made out of aluminum. The blocks, the head, a lot of aluminum parts. Since aluminum is softer, it will erode faster if it gets dirt. Well,
I'm gonna be copying some things over.
No dirt. You don't want to corrode an aluminum engine. It's not like the old solid cast iron ones when I was a kid, where you could abuse the heck out of them and they'd still go. First thing we're going to talk about is coolant. This new car is a nice Toyota pink coolant. Right, there's two systems, one for the electric hybrid system, the other for the engine. This coolant is good for 10 years, 100,000 miles. You don't have to change it off. Don't have somebody say, oh, you got 50,000 miles, you need to change your coolant. At least not in Toyota. Different manufacturers use different coolant. Toyota uses very good coolant. So don't let somebody sell you a line of good unless it's 10 years or 100,000 miles. This stuff is great coolant. It will last a long time. If you let go 200,000 miles, 14 years.
What's going on now?
Start pitting all the inside of the aluminum of your engine. And you might say, Scotty, well, cast iron, I understand, it'll rust. Aluminum doesn't rust, right? But aluminum corrodes. And the corrosion will be even worse than rust. Your electric car's radiator, it's an aluminum radiator. It's got plastic top.
They both corrode, but okay.
When you change the coolant in this every 10 years or 100,000 miles, you change the coolant radiator in the engine, and it will keep it running smooth. A very simple thing to do. Doesn't have to be done all that often. Now, the engine oil, of course, it needs to be done more often. I don't care what other people say, the manufacturers, you want to change it every 5,000 miles or once a year. Because when your car's burning fuel, there is oxidation, water vapor is created, water intrudes, and the oil doesn't work as well. It gets acids and various things built up, and the dirt will make friction. It will eat up an aluminum engine. Modern vehicles having high pressure GDI systems that can be over 1,000 pounds per square inch pressure. This actually has a Toyota dual system. It has 4 fuel injectors on the intake and GDI ones on the engine, but it still has a GDI. All that extra pressure, if you don't have the right oil to lubricate, and all that extra pressure gets blown by the piston rings because they're not lubricated and sealed correctly, you will get gasoline diluting the engine oil, which really will wear your engine out.
Copied over. I'm gonna go look at those.
And have turbochargers. Smaller
Probably gonna buy them when there's a sale.
It's doubly true that you want to keep clean oil in the engine. And you also want to use the correct oil. You might wonder why a lot of modern cars use a 0W whatever oil. This says 0W8, there's 0W16, there's 0W20. There's all kinds. So in the case of this hybrid, the engine's always
I'm ready to get rid of this video here.
On and off. And you have to have a thinner oil that will quickly pump up to the camshafts on the top of the engine because it's always turning itself on and off. And you've got that automatic start-stop. That's even worse because it's just a regular engine. And they decided to get better. Well, you have the automatic stop-start. So you come to a stop for a little while, shut the engine off, got to restart, put a heavier oil in, top of the engine, cam's going to wear out fast.
These gas mileage improvers are just ridiculous.
Well, from my experience,
or as my dad would want me to say, that's preposterous.
They can talk about GM made these engines wrong, now they're saying put a heavier oil in, yada, yada, yada. But if you get a decently built engine, and you change the oil regularly, you're generally never going to have those problems in the first place. Most of the vehicles I see that have blown engines, the engines go out. It's because of lack of correct maintenance. Now, I do say sometimes you can't blame the owners. They say, well, they told me to change the oil every 10,000 miles, so I did, right? And if they did, and it wore out, well, I say change it every 5. And you know how many engine problems I've had in the last 35 years? None. Now, part of it is because I buy Toyotas or Lexuses exclusively, right? My son, this Tacoma, his other Tacoma, and the Sienna van. Or a Matrix that I'm saving for my grandson to learn how to drive when he gets 16. That thing is 18 years old. And what does it have on it? An engine that doesn't burn oil. Because I change it every 5,000 miles. And even with the poorer built engines, say the GM makes, it burn oil. The ones that I see that really burn oil are people who do not change the oil enough. I have customers that have those engines that have 140,000 miles on them. Guess what? They're still running fine. They hardly burn any oil because they maintain them correctly. You do have to maintain it. That's what's going to keep you away from $175 to $225 an hour mechanic work is maintaining the thing in the first place. But then you might say, Scotty, well, who can I trust? These people always trying to sell me this stuff saying you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, listen to me. You buy quality gasoline and change your oil regularly. There's generally no need to have your fuel injection system cleaned out. Gasoline is an excellent solvent, cleans the injectors just by driving down the road. If you drive like a normal person, sometimes you're on the highway, sometimes you stop and go. Now, if you drive like a little old lady goes to church on Sundays, puts 40 miles a month on their car or something like that, yeah, okay, it'll probably get some carbon buildup because you're not taking it on the highway to blow all the crap out. But if you go on a highway and you're going the speed limit, going on a trip or whatever, even if it's as little as an hour, that's going to blow most of the stuff out of the way if you've been maintaining your car.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm good telling too. I'm good.
People selling you stuff. Now here I'm going to tell you, some cars
I usually go on the highway at least once every 2 weeks.
You have to have it modified, put an oil catch can to keep the oil from getting on the intake valves to the PCV system because they just were designed incorrectly and weren't built all that well. But if you get a solid built car, fuel injection cleaning is something that you're generally never going to need. I've never put fuel injection cleaner in this. I've never put it in this Tacoma. They've all run perfectly fine without it. It's something that people try to sell you to make money, and you don't need to waste your money on it as any type of regular servicing. Now, I was talking about my friend Bernie's cleaner. Here it is. And I do use it. But I use it generally on higher mileage cars that haven't been maintained. A lot of times it's a used car somebody just bought, and I take out a spark plug and I get my borescope and I look inside and I see there's a bunch of built up carbon because the car was not taken care of. Something like this can work miracles on a car that was not taken care of. But this is why I stress, you take care of your car, you're not going to have to worry about stuff like this, because there won't be a buildup. And let's talk about spark plugs, okay? Coil on plugs, ignition coils, spark plugs are inside. Guys will often say, oh yeah, you need...
Okay. Let's slow down because this is important. I gotta, they're telling me that I gotta replace my spark plugs.
You gotta change the spark plugs. Okay, now, this 2026 Camry has iridium spark plugs. They can last well over 100,000 miles. On older Camrys I've worked on with iridium spark plugs, I have seen them with 200,000 miles. They still had the original iridium spark plugs and they still ran fine. I don't advise going that far without at least checking them because maybe the gap would wear. And when the gap gets too wide, it has to work harder, and then it works harder on your coils and the computer system and can cause damage. So if the gap gets too far, yeah, you'd want to change them. But don't let people sucker you into paying for a very expensive spark plug change, because on a lot of these V6 engines and V8 engines, the back side of the engine is covered by the intake. You got to take the intake manifold. Some Nissans, you got to take the turbocharger off. It's a pain in the butt. So if you don't need to change them, don't change. If you do have a problem with the spark plug, you're generally going to get misfires. If you're going to misfire code, when you put a scan tool in. And speaking of scan tools, you don't have to buy a super expensive scan tool, but I advise buying a decent scan tool.
That's what my dad told me. He said, like, if you had issues with the spark plugs, you get misfires. So I might wait until I start having issues with the spark plugs, but it just depends on whether I want to deal with that in the future or not. At the moment, I'm not really prepared to deal with that, but yeah, whatever. At this point, I don't really expect the spark plugs to go until like probably 90K.
No, boss, the 5210 is not super expensive, but it can do an awful lot. Give you codes, you can look up stuff on it.
Might even go longer than that.
Well, often, that's a loose gas cap or one that's missing, somebody left it off. With little information, you can start basic and work your way up rather than spending a fortune with somebody. I've had many people go to mechanics that they ended up giving them hundreds and hundreds of dollars of work on their EVAP system, only find out the only thing that was wrong was the gas cap. Oh, inadvertently check the code, all right? Do this when you put it on. Turn it until it clicks. You want it to click. That means it's tight and it's sealed. And it won't trip that code. There's nothing code really, but you see the check engine light, you drive to a mechanic, over trip windows all the time, they're going to try to sell you the kitchen sink half the time. Not a lot of people sell cars are too complex these days. There's still a lot of things people can do. For instance, say you get windows look. They ended up getting actually you can scan tool like this Innova to hop in and spend it.
Okay.
You would not believe how many hundreds of cars are fixed.
I mean, that's just what you're supposed to do in the order manual.
On your pressure test system to see if there's leaks or anything like that. But over the years, especially with Toyota, if the coolant for 10 years or 100,000 miles, a lot of people don't even think about looking at it. You want to check that first. Simple thing. You're low on coolant, the heater won't work because the heater is the highest point and it won't work with hot air, only with hot water. And this heater car gets full of hot air, it won't work right. And in the summer, if your cooling system isn't working right, it will turn your AC on, off, the compressor by itself because it knows there's a problem in your cooling system. Always check the front of your radiator. Now look, you can see there's a couple bugs in here. It's been sitting a while, not too bad. Dragonfly piece, it's not too bad. But if you live where there's lots of bugs, and that sucker gets covered with dead bugs, it blocks airflow. Or perhaps you were driving around a Walmart parking lot and you got sucked in a little plastic bag. It'll stop the airflow. You want to make sure you got good airflow. Simple things you can do yourself. Just check it. If it
Yeah, I gotta check my radiator. He said radiator? Yeah.
You can see there's a couple bugs in here. It's been sitting a while, not too bad. Dragonfly.
Yeah, I gotta check my radiator to make sure that that there's no issues with the fins. They're not bent. There's nothing in the way. That could be causing problems. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem in that regard, but I'm gonna look for leaks and other things. Because it's not just the front of the condenser and the radiator that you got to check. There's other parts as well. So it's not as simple as what he's talking about here, but I think for like in the real world, this is probably what you're gonna run into with like premature wear.
Too bad. But if you live where there's lots of bugs, and that sucker gets covered with dead bugs, it blocks airflow. Or perhaps you were driving around a Walmart parking lot and you got sucked in a little plastic bag. It'll stop the airflow. You want to make sure you got good airflow. Simple things you can do yourself. Just check it. If it is, you can get a garden hose. Hose it all down, and if you got a little mitt, you can wipe the old plugs off. You got a little air pressure, you can blow it off. Once they're hydrated, they'll come off. In any modern car, you want to check the battery every once in a while to make sure it's in good shape. If it's an old style one like this, see what's happening inside. Sure, got a screwdriver on, 2 ways to go get one. You can say, so, and you can either have.
Wait, what is this?
Good shape. If it's an old style one like this, see what's happening inside. Sure, got a screwdriver on, 2 ways to go get one. You can say, so, and you can either have somebody test the battery. They do it at auto
Huh?
parts source. But if you don't trust anyone, stuff
Bro.
like these Nova scan tools, you can plug them in, and they'll do a battery test too, and then check the charging system. Something we'll have to do on an old car like this. It's just got a gasoline engine, but if you got a hybrid like this Camry, as you can see, there's no battery under the hood. There is the hybrid battery that's under the seats, as you're going to see in the trunk. There's also a battery hidden in here. This is the 12-volt battery. Got a little snap you got to pull on. I hate plastic, but it's cheap made. There it goes. It's got a regular battery too, 12 volts. And the 12 volt battery is just as important for the car starting and running the computer system. It's in a regular car. When you get below a certain parameter of voltage, all the electronics can go haywire and you get dozens of trouble codes and they'll all exist because you don't have enough voltage being supplied. So even a hybrid, if it moves you, every once in a while, maybe once a year, whatever,
Correct.
12 volt battery. Yeah, you might have to take the plastic.
Rich rebuilds have to deal with a lot of codes because people don't charge their batteries in the hybrids. Absolutely correct.
And I use that to jumpstart a car because jumpstarting modern cars, you can really screw up if you put cables on yours, then hook it up to a car that has a problem. A good jump starter like this Hultman, this thing's 4 years old, it still works perfectly good. And even if Porsche comes to shove, and there's an extremely bad short in the car you jump start, the only thing it's going to wreck would be this. Now I've never wrecked one, but
Even if Porsche comes to shove.
even if you do, you're making this. You're not destroying your very expensive car. In this case, it's a hybrid car. You don't want to mess with the electronics on that. Yes, I carry one of these. All cars except battery electric cars have air filters in them. You know, depending on where you live, here might be really dirty, right? You wanna check
Not like hybrids would have any trouble starting though.
So, this one's brand new, so it's not going to have any problem. But you can see how easy it is to change it. And when it comes to your brake system, there's a brake master cylinder. You can see it's all clean. Black guys are trying to sell you need your brake fluid flush. Yada, 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 right? You know how many times I've flushed the brake fluid and all the Toyotas that I've owned my whole life? None. I've never flushed them out. It's 24 years old. I've never flushed the brake system. The brakes work perfectly fine. I have no problems whatsoever. Now, if you have poorer-made vehicles, yeah, some of the American stuff systems aren't sealed all that well. Air gets in. You might think, what's air going to do? Well, air has a lot of water vapor, moisture, right? Brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs water vapor. And the water vapor with the brake fluid will eventually degrade the rubber inside, oxidize it. If you have steel lines, like in all American cars, you'll rust the steel on the inside eventually. Right? So with those, you probably want to flush them out every 5-6 years if you got any problems. But the Toyotas are so well made. I mean, I've never flushed it in any of my cars, right? I'll flush them in a customer's car if they want to pay for it. I'll say, you don't really need to do it if you want. I'll hook up my flush machine, I'll flush the whole thing out for you. But to me, it's a complete waste of time on most Toyotas. Now, that's thing I'm talking about is automatic transmission fluid. They don't have dipsticks anymore, so you can't check. And they tell you, oh, it's a lifetime fluid. A lot of companies, right? But that's a total line of.
Yep, I know that too well. Want to check the transmission fluid there? My car does have a dipstick, but it's just really stupid to access it. You gotta take out the air box, and it's just like if you're gonna have to turn on the engine in order to check the transmission fluid, it's like, oh my god. Like, I don't know. I kind of wonder if maybe that particular transmission dipstick, you don't actually need to have the car running for it to be accurate. I don't know. I want to ask my mechanic about that. I'm just too lazy to go over there and ask. And I also have too much pride because I literally told him off last time. So, I don't know. I think the main things is just like the transmission fluid, the brakes is the other thing. And then the third thing would probably be like the windshield wipers from my vehicle. Like, those are the three biggest question marks. I mean, the windshield wipers, I know they're bad, but like, I don't know, there's like a third thing. Probably the condenser. I should check that because my AC, I think it could work a little bit better. I think part of the reason for it not working as well is it could be because of the condenser.
The The dirt eventually can ruin the seals, wear the gears out faster. I'd still say change it every 40 or 50,000 miles. And if it was one of those crappy jet codes, I'd change it every 30,000 miles. So there's no dipstick. But on most of them, you can jack them up. Do chat GPT for your particular car to see exactly where you drain.
I know that the evaporator does most of the work,
Okay, 40 cylinders, see exactly how
but I don't
much-
think there's an issue with the evaporator.
Yeah, as long as the transmission is dry outside and not wet, that means it's not leaking, so it's full. And so you put the same amount back in. You don't need fancy computers and all that crap. They just want to sell you a line of goods at the dealer to make more. So drain, measure, and put the same amount back in. It's not rocket science, right?
I think it's the condenser that's
This
the issue.
This has a CVT transmission, an e-CVT. This is for an older tail. I use this when I change the
Because it's like on the outside, so it's more likely to have problems.
Especially if you got a Subaru. The Subarus aren't bad cars. But if you-
Like, I've heard of evaporators leaking, but I've never heard of an evaporator, like, going out. I don't think that ever happens.
They got 190,000 or more, and they're still rolling down the road. If you don't change that fluid, it'll be well out of warranty, right? It's usually 120,000 miles or something. But when it goes
God,
up to about
CVT
240,
fluid.
we're not how to rebuild them. Fluid is important.
Alright, you're done speaking, sir. You are done. Well, that shit with the battery was kind of weird. But, yeah. Yeah. So, I'm gonna be busy over the next couple days. I gotta go to the orthopedic center. I got an interview in a couple days. Actually, it's literally tomorrow. Tomorrow I have an interview. I have an interview and I have a meeting with Bales, which is my third avenue to get a job, because I do actually have 3 methods, if you can believe it. 3 methods, and none of them have worked out yet. None of them have converted to money yet. So, you know, you would think, oh, this man's working on 3 different fronts. Certainly he'd be making money. No, I'm not. I'm still broke. But that's okay, because we know at some point I'm going to be blessed and I'm going to have some income coming in, and it's going to be great. I'm going to have some much needed upgrades after that. My car is going to get tinted windows. That's going to be extremely good. WD-40 probably for the windshield wipers. I don't know, there's a couple other things. A ThinkPad, because this laptop is just sad face thugging. Let me just quickly pull up the battery life real quick. Let me see how much battery life it has right now. Right now it's stuck at 82% because it's tripping. But right now it still says 34%, but I think it's gonna quickly go down. 30%. You see 30% on your battery and you're like, that battery's garbage. 30% battery health. So yeah, it's in really bad shape. And it just shows that they make these batteries like crap now, because I think I bought this computer 2 or 3 years ago. It shouldn't degrade like that in 2 or 3 years. It's just ridiculous. It's just a complete piece of shit. So I'm gonna see about getting a ThinkPad. Those are a lot better when it comes to maintenance, and I mean, for fuck's sake, I'm a cybersecurity expert. Every cybersecurity person has a ThinkPad. I'd much rather have it than this fucking useless gaming PC. I'm considering actually playing Paper Mario Sticker Star, if you can believe it. Because I saw a video that shows Paper Mario Sticker Star in a positive light, which is just insane. I never thought I would see the day. I really didn't, don't. But yeah, main things is get the car serviced, get the computer serviced, and I don't know. I mean, I have headphones, so that's fine. I have shoes, so I don't need more shoes. Better monitor would be nice, but we really don't need one right now. I think we could live without a good monitor. I don't think we need that. I think we'll be fine. I don't know, man. Subscriptions, certifications. For subscriptions, probably like something like try Hack Me, Hack the Box. For certifications, there's a lot of different options out there. I could use a better water ball as well. I could honestly get by that now, though. I don't need to wait. I already got my glasses. But yeah, if I do a stream on the Twitch channel, expect either Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 3 or Paper Mario Sticker Star. But I don't expect to be doing that. I expect to be very busy. So we'll see what happens. Springboard is going to be letting off the gas, which is, it's definitely handy to have more time, because I feel like I've been pretty much wasting my time on these tasks that they had me doing. Looks like the game has changed enough for that to be the case. At least for me it is. But yeah, we'll monitor the situation, make sure we're on task, on code, and all that. So I hope everybody around me does the same, and let's get this bread together, baby. Peace out.